And I got my out right on time, Joe. 20 pennies on TNXP. It's all over there. Pumped about this one. All right, big kahunas. What say you guys?
What up, everybody? That's absolutely...
NYSE just resuming right now. 294. Up 700%.
It's halted.
I mean, how are we not long this thing?
22 times it's halted to the upside.
Is that what it is? Oh, you have the...
Well, I know. Look, I have a halt counter. I'm not...
Yeah, no, I mean,
like you could count it, but
yeah.
I'm like, what I should have done is I should have pretended that I actually counted it that many times. Like, oh, look how fast I was able to count the halts on NYSE.
Yeah.
NYSE News.
No one would have thought you had a scanner like that, you know.
Wow, I mean, and it's going into another halt as we speak at $2.99. It is halted, baby. For
Put on your, oh, you don't have the right screen up.
Oh, no, shoot. Do you have the...
I wasn't looking at it.
Yeah, I don't have the level 2 up there. So, yeah, this is new. The news is, NYSE is halted again. The tap is $3. I mean, the halt is at $2.99. It is, it's been going up today. In case you haven't noticed, the market's doing pretty well, but it's not up 740% because what the heck is up 740%? And then just as Sharif was mentioning, what's this company called? Molecular Templates Inc., MTEM, just as he was mentioning that, it broke 80 and it went into a halt. Although the difference with this is it went right into 90 cents. It literally failed $1 yesterday and it's tapping 85. So my suspicion is, wait a minute, stop in underneath 80, because if it goes back under 80, my suspicion is this is going to be one of those like false breaks. You had to have the breakout at that 80 cent level. So if it opens and loses 80 out, let's see. I kind of feel like it's going to fail $1 just because it failed $1 before. But yeah, MTP going upside. Obviously, the big thing is that news, which is insane. Could just be sympathy, like other things are trying to go with NUZE. And I feel like the second this one goes to the downside, anything that's been following it's going to get waxed, is my guess. So make sure you have stops on all of these low float runners and all the good stuff in there. As DJT just lost 30 because everyone cares about news. Yep. Like DJT can't go more than 50 cents, but news can squeeze up a bajillion.
Yeah, I mean, come on, man.
Apparently.
It's whatever, it's whatever companies the Chinese government want to start ripping upside.
It's true.
You know, I mean,
well, is news Chinese? I have no idea,
but it doesn't matter. They can do whatever they want. All right, so we're excited here. Hopefully they get Nvidia ripping upside as well. Google's making a couple moves down. We got some exciting names to cover for you today. We got Netflix after the close as well. Stay tuned for that. That should be a wild ride.
Good game, baby.
All right, let's go figure it out. Uber, maybe. No, I think he's fine. All right, so yeah, we're gonna look at maybe at Uber. Let's go find out what's on the list with Sharif.
Welcome to the Afternoon Rundown, guys, a show where you decide what we talk about every day. So you saw the big kahunas. They're ready to go, ready to look at the tickers as decided by you. So join us during the midday show and get into that chat and vote for your favorite tickers every day, but only the top 5 make it on. So persuade your friends in the chat to vote your way. Let's have a look at the indexes. Right now, it is the RUS, the only one that's negative on the day, the NQ, the ES, and the Dow, all in positive territory. But the RUS was a big mover yesterday. It was up 1 2/3, giving back right now about 0.25% in the red. But there is the first ticker as decided by you guys, the SPY. And we're in green territory today, guys, above that 5,900 point level on the ES December contract, but off the highs, guys, as the SPY's about 0.25%.
Yeah.
Good news is that it made an all-time high. Bad news is it just wicked it again. So like we've had this pattern going on the, whether it's the NASDAQ, kind of the same thing. The SPY's been doing it, but at least every time it fails a high, you know, like the next day you consolidate and within 2 days you're making another one. It looks like recently on that break. But unfortunately, yeah, you did fail the all-time high, lower highs. That's why it's feeling a little bit bearish right now. We're still green, but that's because of the gap up. Thank you very much, TSM, for all of that. But obviously, yeah, it does look like we're rounding toward the bottom. It's not necessarily a gap fill because you already did that in the morning. I guess you're refilling the gap if that's even a thing. All right, that METM is already open and can't seem, oh, now it does seem to break that 90-cent level. That thing's going to fail at $1, MTEM, I do think. Let me just go back over to the MTEM because it just went to 98 cents, and I feel like they just stacked it up at $1. So at this point, it either is going to hold, Okay, it's going to try and go to a halt off of $1.
Oh man, we just got stopped at a Tesla on our short, which is crazy.
Remove stop underneath $1.
M10. All right, so we'll see what happens over there with that one. I mean, look, the SPY, you know, still monstrous this year. I mean, we've talked about how well it's been performing, but you're going to look at today. I just feel like there's just, I've been looking short for a while. It seems like every afternoon I come in short an hour long, but nothing's really happening. But to these positions, but the market is losing it a little bit here. Spider's still up 0.18. I mean, look, Rally Central in financials. Obviously, some bigger stocks like Nvidia. We talked about the other $1 trillion marker today with TSM. So as the market goes, this is the top 500 stocks, but it does look like it's trying to break lower here. That little wick top, sometimes when you get to those all-time highs, that's interesting that we faded pretty hard off of that. I mean, you're only down, like we said, 0.5% or not even from those all-time highs, but that little wick top, you don't really see those wick tops until you do right here. And then that created a nice little downside move. No real wick tops here, but that one might stand out. Let's see where we close tomorrow. I mean, if we close today below 579 and then open up even below that and then close below 576 the next day, maybe we do have a little bit of a decision to make here, whether or not the spiders are retracing back in. Look, the market has 10 to 15% moves all the time. Most people will tell you things like that are healthy. So I'll tell you the same thing. I mean, what goes up must come down at some point. So let's continue to take profit if you're nervous about any of these plays. But at the same time, I mean, it's a longer game. We do have elections coming up in less
than
a
fun question.
3 weeks, 2 weeks.
I got a fun question.
I have fun answers.
Okay, so I'm half saying this because I have something in mind for this, but so it's self-serving. SPY pulls back 20%. You can't buy the SPY, but you can only buy one stock the day that the SPY pulls back 20%, regardless of where that stock is pulled back to. So regardless of level, SPY pulls back 20%. What stock?
I mean, Nvidia. I'm buying Nvidia on all dips.
No.
So what about for yourself?
No, I was hoping you were going to say, because Google, I thought you were going to say Alphabet.
I think Nvidia is really the future.
No, because Nvidia on no matter what the level is, with all the rest of the Mag 7, 50 and 200 periods are the only two places that I'm buying. But I was kind of hoping you'd say one of those, and I was going to be like, Nvidia is the only one I would buy regardless of price if the market pulled back 20%. Anyways, well, that ended up being not as exciting as I wanted it to be. Let's talk about ASML, which...
But I gave you an exciting answer. I mean, Nvidia. That's, you know, what people want to hear.
Well, I know. I was kind of hoping I could say.
Give what's 1B then for you. Let's see if this is exciting.
Oh, 1B?
Yeah.
Meta.
There you go. See,
Meta. Yeah.
I think Meta.
No, because of the valuation. So therefore, if it's regardless of price, I know the valuation isn't expensive. And that's the whole thing. If it's regardless of price.
Me on Meta, man.
Yeah, so... ASML is not one that I would automatically buy if the market went 20% down, but I am looking, I do like the notion of this. Let's just talk before I get into it, let's go to Sharif.
Yeah, it's
What
next.
am I doing? Yeah.
I'm with you there, Neil. I'm thinking about this one as well. It was a tough week for ASML, very tough. Obviously, it was a miss on the earnings report, and it was leaked early. Not that it was inaccurate, it was just leaked early, and it caught everybody by surprise. Today, we got a bit of a different picture from another microchip named Taiwan Semi. They're not complaining about demand. ASML was. They were saying some of the chip fabs were not buying machinery for other parts of their build out other than AI. So it's a bit of a miss there. But they're up, guys. 2.25 today. Not a bad look.
Yeah, but so ASML is down 30-something% from the highs. You know what? Actually, I think I have that set for a percent from the high. Do I have it? No, I don't have a percent from. I should set that one up because then it's easy for me to be able to say. It's a good one. Then I can just sort of tell you on my scanner without actually trying to do stupid math in my head. Not that that's bad, but ASML, we call it give it the 3-day rule. You know, so you're getting to that point. If we close the week and we haven't lost this 675, look at it was support on the way up. But the big volume spike breakout on ASML right at the beginning of the year was off this level at 675. So if we're holding this on Monday, I'm going to buy this thing. I mean, at the end of the day, you can't make advanced chips without their lithography machine, period. So why not? TSM confirmed that demand's going to be good. So yeah, I feel like this one's going to be okay. As long as it holds on to that support, I'm a buyer on Monday, close the week above it. Even if it's at 700, who cares? I think it would be a buy and a hold. So it doesn't really matter. As for the trade, remember they trade primarily in Amsterdam, which That's a no-fly zone for me. Trade, like, even if it was split, I wouldn't trade this now, given that they're closed, the primary market's closed. I think you can find other chip names that are going to move a bit more. Like the fact that it's trying to hold above the 700. It would seem like it's made a bottom at that key 675 level. I think that's nothing but good for this stock. And that MTEM, yeah, I mean, so I was obviously wrong about the stock failing the $1 level. So getting out of 90% of it in front of $1 was a colossal mistake. It's now about to halt at 125. I just took my 5% of this left, and it's about to go another halt. All I do every time it halts is take some out in front of the halt band and then move my stop. So my stop is now going to 120 on this thing. Yeah, a smarter man would have held on to more of this position, but me and dollar failures are a bit of a thing. And I'm actually going to pay for locates on the off chances something does really stupid, because I feel like this is just doing insanity like news. Only when something is following the other one doing insanity, usually it drops a little faster than NUZ is. So yeah, METM still going, now 30%, so it's 300% almost to the upside. Probably should have held on to more, but it is what it is.
We're short Palantir and just getting some out right now. Yeah, look, I mean, I think ASML is a good name to trade. I feel the same way. Here's Palantir. We had to short. Now it's finally falling back into the 200 period below where we initially started shorting it. But these stocks are roller coasters. End of the day, no, I like ASML same way. I mean, you know, I don't think that's why I answered Nvidia so quickly there. It was a no-brainer. I just don't think this sector is going anywhere. And if anything, this kind of a drop down gives you opportunities to buy. You know, so if those people that are already in it might have probably sold, panic sold maybe. So you're getting some of those sort of paper hands, you know, washed out on some of these moves. But again, the weekly says it all. There's lots of room to run on ASML. So if you like the space, I think you got to get that. I mean, I feel like it's the same thing. We didn't know enough about Micron. We kept sitting here like, oh, what's up with Micron and this and that, and like, what's up with DRAM, and we kept on seeing like we don't understand the story here. And then Micron all of a sudden has their report and blasts right back up. So, you know, if you just understand that sometimes these stocks will have their ebbs and flows and will be popular and then not very, very fast. ASML can just get upgraded by somebody, and the next thing you know, that's going to be up 10% in a day. So I do like that stock. We'll have to see what winds up happening with ASML. But MSTR, a completely different story here, as we'll have to track the movement here in Bitcoin.
It's below 67,000 right now, Sean, last time I looked, but it was a good day for crypto. I saw you guys talking about Mara in the chat. It's above $18 last time I looked. MSTR down marginally with this now down move on Bitcoin. And Dylan Leclerc, who is Metaplanet's director of Bitcoin strategy, feels that Bitcoin is going to be a $100 trillion idea that belongs in every portfolio, corporate balance sheet, and retirement account. Those are fighting words.
So the bull move in Bitcoin, somebody's selling MSTR at around $200.
Somebody gonna get hurt the real bad.
Yeah, it's just you know, it's not some Bezos thing. I'm saying ain't way too. My daughter has been saying, like, ain't is her new thing.
Slay.
Everything is ain't this, ain't that, and now it's bleeding to me. So if you hear me say that, whatever it is.
That ain't right.
Yeah, it's just, you know, whatever. I do most of my talking outside of this show is talking to my 7-year-old daughter. So let's be real for a second. It ain't good at $200 on MSTR.
I just talk to myself.
It's green, but it's not. Yeah, it's just weak right now. I don't know what else to tell you. It looks to me every time it gets in there, you're just running into a brick wall of lower highs after failing several times above the $200 level. So unfortunately, like, it's strong. But it's like, it's weird. Like, see, it's kind of like a head and shoulders over the 200, although, I don't know, whatever. Well, you guys, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But resistance, tried to break, utter failure, and then the last couple of sessions, you just can't seem to get out and about above. The good news is, look at you, it's holding 190. So a consolidation off of 190, and then breakout, like confirm a breakout over 202, 203, then this sucker can get going again. Because it did such a ridiculous move to the upside, all of a sudden you got some sellers in charge at that 200 level on MSTR.
All right, we forgot, because we were talking about something. We got new positions, so we just took the futures. We just took out 15 handles there at the top. We took out 5, 10, 15 handles. As we go to the top side, we're in 55% still of this trade. So let's wait to see what winds up happening. Vice President Harris now speaking about, the Hamas leader, okay. So nothing there as far as chips. I thought maybe there was going to be something there. Okay, so nothing there. MSTR, look, Bitcoin, IBIT and all that. We've already sort of talked about this. Neil sort of showed the, hold on a second. Neil sort of already showed the chart here. I feel the same way about it. I think we're getting ready to break, but you still got to get above some of these highs. I just think at this point, you've had a lot of dips. Like we've gone here back in, I don't know why the 200 period. Oh, because IBIT maybe doesn't have 200 days. I feel like it does. But anyways, we keep on getting dip bought back into wherever this 200 period is. And I just feel like it could happen again. So back in here to 34, 35, something that seems reasonable for me on IBIT. So I would wait now. Let it settle down. We just failed. I mean, I'll take the long if it breaks 39. And it's not that it's not going to do that, but 39 was already the top right there. It looks like almost the top to the penny again. So 39 on IBIT's a blast forward, and that's at 38 right now. So yeah, I just took this out of my ear because they were talking about that press conference there. All right, we're still long Google. We're long Nvidia. We're long the TQQs, which is the futures. We're long Apple from the morning, and we're short Mr. Palantir and Alex Karp right now. But that won't be for long. We'll get out as soon as we can. All right, back over to Sharif there. DraftKings time.
This one went red to green, guys. I saw you short this in the morning, guys. I think it was Sean shorting it, but there it is, now up 1.5%. Wells Fargo chiming in today, maintaining their overweight rating on DraftKings and boosting that price target from 47 to 52. Good look. I didn't expect this. Red to green.
We wrote this one down on our sticky note. We had this labeled from yesterday on here, and it's been a quite a, tipsy-turvy move here on DraftKings. But the thing is, when you're looking at this, how could you be short? How could you be short and make money? Not only did we make money, it's the #1 P&L stock today between all shows. So, I mean, that's the thing. You got to hit it when it's there. We planted purple flowers on the way down. We were able to get a lot of shares up there at 37 on that break. We reloaded that short a little bit there as it went back in, and then all of a sudden it broke 37 and we got out. So we were actually only holding, I'd have to look, maybe 50% of that reload rate there. So the damage was not done. The damage was done right here. We were super excited about this name when we were in it. I'm not super excited about it now. I do really like the fact that we have bounced off of that level right there again. So maybe here we nailed it. We nailed that break. We got out. Pretty responsible trading right now. But if you are looking to make responsible trades as well, why not join our friends at Trade the Pool? There we go. She's got the full beard on right there. You know what I mean? Brendan's looking good there. I'm looking mediocre. But there you go. Trade the Pool allows traders like you to get evaluated and trade real shares using company capital. No PDT rule holding you back. That's how they give you the true trading edge. Here's the exciting part, though. Trade the Pool has just launched a limited edition program to evaluate stock traders like yourself. For a one-time fee of just $97, you'll receive $20,000 in buying power, and all you need to do is reach the profit goal. The best part of this limited edition program is that they have reduced the profit goal and the minimum trades required to reach the funded phase, and the profit split has been upgraded. So you keep 70% of the profits. You should definitely check it out right now by scanning that QR code below or click on the link in our description. I mean, that's we talked about the advantages of trading on a prop floor and, Trade the Pool. If you're interested, go over there and find them, as well as real trading. So we're excited for all of that. We do have a couple other things lined up. So let's, unless you want, DraftKings sort of just did there. You can go ahead if you want.
I can't. That's a great short. I actually didn't realize DraftKings got back up there. What? The thing was bleeding to death and the market's weak. DraftKings, so that's a good thing for DraftKings. Here, okay, first, M10. I actually was like, I'm going to put my stop underneath the halt reopen price and put it at the halt reopen price. Didn't really matter, but it's the same thing. It's right back at $1. So this is doing, I was sort of saying, like when news, NUZE, like this finally turned around, and look what happened to the other random stock that was going on nothing. It drops even faster and harder. So you got to make sure you take profits on those. No, but the only thing I was going to say about DraftKings is, you typically speaking, when you have a move like that gets bought up when the market doesn't have strength, that's a pretty bullish sign in my opinion. And we like the 50-period moving average. It happens to be bouncing off the 50-period moving average. So you basically liquidity grabbed underneath that flat bottom break at 37, and now you're holding the 37. Next stop, break the 200 period moving average out to the upside. It's not. I wish this was exactly $40, then it would make it really easy. But maybe like a 39.50 break. Just consolidate here after that lit grab, break the sucker out. That looks pretty bullish to me if it can make a follow through in the next, I guess, days and weeks. But let's. Oh, we still have Nvidia to talk about.
Ooh.
And here I thought we were done.
Just seeing, guys, that the FTC is investigating John Deere. Deere under investigation now by the FTC for some of their farming equipment repair practices. Keep an eye out on that. Yeah, as the boys mentioned, Nvidia, the last on the rundown over here. Obviously, Taiwan Semi reporting, and especially with the report specific to AI, was very bullish for Nvidia. They are their biggest supplier of these GPUs. And it's a good look. We got very close into those all-time highs. Still, it eludes us. 141 and change, guys, all-time highs. I think we got into the high 140s today, but just a matter of time, you feel like.
For the record, if that story drops Deere into the 50 or 200 period moving average on the daily, that's a buy.
Neil's in there. Neil's in there, man.
But it doesn't,
Cookie Monster.
But it doesn't get any more. Like it's Deere. Like they gonna be okay. All right. So
do okay.
The daily chart looks pretty good. It is in a pullback anyway. So where are we at? 400. That's like 390 and then 385. Anywhere in that zone looks like a good area to pick that bad boy up. I'm in Caterpillar. It's like the only real industrial that I have a big position in. My personal account is like my number 6 or something holding, maybe 7. I don't know. I feel like it should be less than Lilly, but it might not be because Lilly's Lilly. But obviously, Deere's a good one, I think, to add into as well, if that story gives it any weakness. Nvidia, all my trading was this morning, and then when it did this bottoming tail candle, I made one trade after that off of VWAP that was no good. And now all of a sudden, I think we're getting back to that 138 level. So I was trying to be really patient. We went long the first dip off the pre-market bottoms. And then after it made this bottoming tail candle through the low, got it on the way back up into VWAP and then dipped off the higher low into VWAP. Then we had a loss trying to take a higher low here, waited for the actual pullback to that prior 138 level. That got almost to VWAP and stopped out, and then I didn't get this re-entry, and after that waited for VWAP. I think now you just got to wait for 138 if you're not short. I am in AMD. Actually, let me go.
Keeps breaking.
The other thing to remind everybody is 140.76 was an all-time high, so this was a breakout that kind of failed an all-time high. So you have an all-time high pullback happening, at least a little bit on Nvidia. So up 2%, but it's one of those, we made an all-time high and then we're breaking it back. AMD couldn't really churn through the last 2 days of support. Resistance at 158.50. So we've been trying to short this one to no success early, and then a little bit more here, as I think it's headed down into 156.5. This is another stock that's headed for the 50-period moving average. Only AMD doesn't feel as good as the other stocks that are getting to that 50-period moving average on the daily. That I'm interested in. So yeah, at least some concern with AMD. Can't seem to hold that 200. It was in the midst of a breakout. I could see it losing the 50 period, especially if Nvidia is going to back off these highs.
Yeah, there is some concern here because I've been playing sort of the ranges of these markets. We have just now broke below. The ranges have been good most afternoons, right? But right now we are just sitting here. We're only out 10 cents. Or not even, sorry. TQs are not at 6 cents. But right into here, this is the low. So I'm trying to play off of this. This is almost definition of catching a falling knife. We've been able to get out every time for profits, but I just want to show everybody that this is at that low right now, looking to break it. So dangerous and slip. Okay, there we go. See, now it just rips back up. So we get some out now. For a little bit of profit, let's just take a little bit out here as it goes up because, yeah, that was a pretty dangerous spot right there into that low. So we'll just take off some pressure here into those plays and then wait to see what's happening. We are also 25 cents now in the money here on Palantir. Let's punch out. There we go. We'll punch some out there at 82.5 or 83 and take a little bit more out as my bids are nowhere to be found on this stock. I actually had a better offer up here that just got missed at 25. I was trying to go against this 30 area, but unfortunately we didn't get it all. We'll have to wait. I mean, I prefer the market to rip now, not tank. So we'll cover some Palantir now. And it doesn't matter. We always talk about like we want this to happen or that to happen. It doesn't. I'm just talking about the positions that I'm in. I mean, I'm long against this level. So we just scalped it out numerous times right now, right here. So there's some outs, there's some outs, there's some outs. And we're getting lighter. So we only have now about 2/3 There we go, a little bit more. Now about 2/3 left, as we just got some out at 64, 65. So here we go. Hopefully we can get back up to the upside right now in these markets. But again, just letting you know, we're scalping all this stuff out, trying to find opportunities where opportunity lies. That's something that you can't really fight that, right? I mean, any news could happen at any, like look what's happening right now. So right now we're another 12, 15 handles in the money or so. I always try to equate it to what it would look like on the futures, because I trade here in the TQs. I prefer trading the TQQs because it's a stock and it's the same order entry. My hands are already sort of trained to make literally thousands of trades a day on this kind of a market. So it's like, for me, the math is much easier than saying, okay, I have 5 contracts. I'm trying to get a contract out here. What's that going to do to my average price right now as it's starting to go back upside? So we have a couple longs right now in Google and in TQs and in Nvidia. But other than that, man, I think Google's a problem. It doesn't want to go, but the futures are a bigger situation. 163.25. If we can get them all out right now for flat on Google, that's not too bad. So again, more covering up there on the futures. We now have less than half of the position that we had in the first place here. So well traded there off the bottoms. And again, just trying to hold it through that. So it was about a 10 or 15 handle risk, which is why we had to get it out when that trade allotted itself to do so. So, all right, Google in trouble though. I don't know what you're trading long or short right now.
I just went to grab Apple here, but it didn't quite get into the higher low from this morning. Obviously, we were trading it off the open and got the 230-ish bounce and then tried VWAP, but the higher low in here was like 231. I was looking for the market weakness to take us down into that level, try and catch it on the way up. It's like, kind of like this, like exactly in here, but just wasn't fast enough to grab those quarters on the way back in. But I do like Apple. It's trying to go red to green again. That's right around 231, 3/4. So if it breaks VWAP, it's going green. I like it for some strength. One of the reasons that I do like it is you held on support from yesterday. Higher low support as well. So if you just look at the pattern, it was a drop, actually something we mentioned in the lesson of the day, drop into essentially 230, today a little bit higher, and then yesterday it ground back into those highs. So on that same pattern, support in front of the 30 level, and then an attempt to close right back at the 232 is the pattern that I'd like to play out here. That news stock for everybody, keep going to blue ocean there. News is halted, this time again to the downside. So it did open, managed to break higher a couple of times, and this is now successive down halts. The last one was 10 minutes. So you never know. It could be 5 minutes. It could be 10 minutes. It doesn't really matter at this point. But when there's a lack of liquidity, sometimes it's of the 10-minute variety. So if it's tapping 253, meaning it would open down here. If it opened right now, my guess is if it doesn't open in the 5, that means it might actually open that low. Because 10 minutes means that they don't have enough liquidity for a reasonable amount of volatility, I suppose. Another stock that's relatively strong, if we don't get Apple, is Tesla, which is trying to hold VWAP, though. So Tesla went on a rally, like late in the lunchtime hour, I suppose, breaking all the way to 222. Now it's trying to hold on to VWAP exactly at the 220 level. Want to see it do one more bounce, market to the lows, it's at VWAP. One more bounce off this level, show me a higher low, and then I add it to Apple for opportunities to the long side. And then there's one more name I wanted to get to because it's back under VWAP. The only place I've been looking short Intel is underneath VWAP, at 2 underneath here. Felt like if it broke higher, I wanted to wait for 23 even. It's back underneath. So going to look for this one to continue to set downside. They had that negative story with regards to China yesterday. What was it? National security concerns or some business like that.
Yeah.
Basically tit for tat. Like, oh, you pick on one of our companies, we'll pick on you.
Yep, exactly. That's why you don't want to mess with China. All right, so just talking quickly here about Tesla, because you just mentioned it. Wow, like that's crazy. We made another one. We made the bottom on Nvidia today and then the top on Tesla right there. We are already playing this short. Made money, boom, give it back. We're long now, though, against this level here on Tesla, against 220. Again, falling back into VWAP. We'll try to take that as many times as we can, but at the same time, it just went into the money. Again, if we can start to scalp out, you can see sort of the benefits of scalping out when we look at names like the TQs that have fallen back in a little bit here. And I'm watching the net, so trust me, like I'm on a hawk like this. Just trying to figure out what's going on here. And if something goes way in the money for us and we have a significant piece, we always try to take it out. But right now, I am looking at trying to scalp out some more of this name. So we'll wait to see what winds up happening here on Tesla. There it goes, 230s. Okay, so all right, we're starting to get it. So there's 12, 13 cents on Teslas. Now it's starting to get back up to the upside. We're waiting for 40s again, so we'll see if that can come through. There it goes. Okay, so we get a 39 there, actually, not a 40 as we go through on Tesla. So it's starting to pick up a little bit. We just bought some off view up again, giving this name 20 cents worth of risk. We're long at 20s. We'll take some out here at 39s. That gives us what we need. So that's the bigger piece on that one. Futures now starting to get back to the upside a little bit. Hopefully that can rally. I mean, I'd like Tesla to do the damage and the dirty work for us if we could. But I'll offer some more here at 70s on the TQQs. Make sure that we do take that. It's 15 handles or so. Again, there it is. Give me that. We're at 69, to be honest with you. Whenever I say I'm offering 70s, I know Neil will be the same way, and Sharif and all these guys, not to speak for everybody, but it's like, I'll wait at even pennies. Like, I don't think for Nvidia, I don't think it really matters. I don't think it matters for many of these stocks. But generally, like if I'm getting out at 70 on the offer, I'll take a 69. Or if I'm getting long, I'll take like an 11 instead of a 10. Or it's really silly, but those.
Well, it's actually not silly. It's one of those. In the moment, it doesn't seem like it matters, but over the course of like, if you do that every single day for years, you just end up getting more of those take profit fills than you don't. I feel like if you always wait for the best price, and then there's so many times that you won't get that scalp out, and it ends up adding up over time more than that 1 or 2 cents is going to add up. It's better to get the fill. If you're taking you'd rather take a 47-cent win than a 50-cent win. If you're going to get the 47-cent win fill, 5% more or 10% more, you'll get that fill over a long run. Like to me, it's just as simple as that. And then that's doubly so when you're trading. If you're trading small cap stocks, it's even more important. Where like all you're doing is doing like that scalp trading. I say that as back in the day in penny stocks, where you had a name for it, and it was like you'd be price shaving against like the other orders. And then we had another term for if somebody did it to your order, which was not. It was always frowned upon on the floor. If everyone knew you were on a certain level, and they would shave your order. But I can't say that one on you.
Like Neil's offering 9s, and I come and swoop in there and offer 8s and quickly scalp that away. But yeah, those are dirty plays.
You know who used to do that?
Yeah, I mean, I think lots of traders used to do that. But was the guy's name Jordan, or was there other guys like that, or was it? Okay. Yeah.
I knew you knew.
Yeah. Well, of course. We brought all those guys in. Okay, so I'm just trying to look through what's happening here. So Palantir is still battling with the same levels. We have scalped more and more out. We now only have less than a third left of this position as we are 10 handles in the money. We just scalped some more out at 70s, like over and over again there, guys. We just, like, look at that. We actually get, I mean, it might not be anything to you, but that's 70 or 71, and that's like a 74. So that's, again, equivalent of about 10 to 15 handles on those trades as we're playing the TQ right now off of the day's low. So we've seen so much, bouncing back and forth here in the afternoons, and then we wind up saying, oh, we're waiting for the closing prints, and we're waiting for this or that. And then, it sometimes affects the market, sometimes it doesn't. It's just one of those things where we'll try to play that bottom, and then if we get more negative news, then we'll just get out of it, which is why we are simply put scalping out of this. We're playing with house money where we cannot lose. If this breaks below, fine, we'll give some back, but we've already scalped out enough right now to be completely fine with it if it drops below. So we're long here at 52s. That bottom is 40s. So a little bit of slippage probably will happen, but at the end of the day, that's to be expected. So we'll see where we get out, hoping for about a 15-cent hit or so if we are incorrecto on that one. Google, again, a couple good outs as we went to the upside here. Just trying to show you that, hey, we're not trying to be stubborn with anything. I've already identified that Google's been pretty weak here. Look at it today. They lost their director or somebody on as part of their search and their AI team and their marketing team, I should say, maybe not AI. And he left. She, I shouldn't say he. I'm not sure. I think it was a he. I saw some story there, and Brennan's busy right now, but yeah, left, and that sort of sent the stock a little to the downside. That wasn't this move here. Oh yeah, it was. What time is this? Yeah, 1 o'clock. Yeah. So that is when it was. So it was the increased volume right there, obviously. So they get an executive change over at Google, which sort of sent this name to the downside. All I've been trying to do is trying to see if there's been a hold here somewhere, right? I mean, the 20-minute chart, this is where we are right now, 163. So this is what I'm trying to
It was a he.
Yeah, it was a he. That's what I'm trying to talk. I thought I saw his picture on another station, which I didn't want to say. Right there, 162.90 or so with a drop zone. I'm going to get out if it breaks 163, period. Just because, again, we talk about even levels, and we'll do that there. So, yeah, just a little bit of a talk there on what we're looking for from Google. Palantir still doing nothing. Nvidia, I'm not there yet. We already got some more out. We have, again, this is a very, very light position. This is about... Actually, it's exactly 10% of what we had right here. We already took this all out. Most of our outs are around here, 139.50s, 139.70s. You know, good outs there as we were above the 200 period at that time. And all these outs right into here, like 70s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 79s, and then a couple right now. But look at this. We're starting to get lower and lower and lower. So watch out for all these shorts, man, that you guys are, sorry, the longs you may have. TQ's is about to get taken out right now as well. So this is about to drop below. I'm not going to reload this. Like I said, we'll play with house money for now. If it breaks, we're gone. And just say, thankfully, we changed up our tone a little bit and started scalping this out. So we should be looking for shorts now into the close. It's only 236, but negative news, man. We heard that Hamas story about the leader. There's probably going to be retaliation and all that stuff. So we're going to wait to see what winds up happening as Google is right near that spot as well. Too bad. No real, there it goes. I was going to say no real size at 163, but we take our hands off there and then it goes down there to the downside. So frustrating to lose some of those longs, but at the same time, we're able to scalp out of them and not have too much left. If anything, it would be Nvidia long. Other than that,
everything seems to be losing a bit. I'm now I got into AMD before we came on. It was just a flat bottom break off of VWAP at 158, but it's now at the low of the day and bouncing off the low as the NASDAQ is trying to bounce off the low. So trail in. If it gets back above the, I think I have it at the 10s, something like that, which usually means, oh no, I actually put it really tight. So I have it really tight to this level. So I'm already out. Just got through the 105, 157.05. So we've done a bunch of wick bottoms down here, and a little bit of a bottoming tail candle is going to get me out of that AMD long. Just take the quick buck. If we get back to 158, VWAP, great. Lower highs can be a play, but it's going to have to set something up. I mean, I'm not really working with an obvious trend line because, you know, if you shorted the trend, you'd be shorting it in 10 cents on a bounce. And if the market bounces from here, I think I want to be a little bit more patient. Intel just needs to get to this low and break it. That's 2240, which it's had trouble doing. That said, it closed all the way down here at the 30 level, so I think it's got that move, one more fill there, then we wait for it to get to the previous close. If it loses that, I think it could go even lower in general. Apple, I thought this was going to be a good bounce play. So Apple is now at the 31 level and putting in a higher low as the market's at the low. So, sorry, 31 half level, not 31. But the market's bouncing off the bottom, and Apple's trying to bounce off a higher low. I like that. If you're making higher lows, the market's making the low, and to me, you're relatively strong, and I want to look for longs in something like that. So I'm going to see if I can't weasel in to steal a Sharifism in the 60s here, give it to that this local low, which is 231, like 37, it looks like.
I mean, we did it. I mean, we keep on setting the wrong stops, basically, right here again. And so we're still happy because it's not, you know, we're flat on, we're still up actually on this move. But at the same time, like we basically just nailed the bottom again on that. So yay for that one. Palantir, did we get advantage of that? No, nothing. See, Palantir didn't even do anything. So I'm thinking that this now is going to be, that sucks about that TQ trade. It's fine. It's just frustrating when you make those bottoms, of course. All right, so we'll punch a little bit out here at 85 on Palantir. So that's what we just did right now. Punching a little bit there out on Palantir as it just didn't have that move. We can put another bid. I mean, let's put a bid at 80 just in case it comes back down. We'll do that. Actually, I'm already bidding 80. Okay, 85 then. Let's do that. All right, so we're bidding now 81s in case that does fall back into that level. We'll take it. Why not? We're back in, of course, because Tesla, we already made the top. So why not just make the bottom of that move as well? And then there it goes right back in. It takes 220, so we take it again as it goes back up to the upside. Come on, baby. Just print us here if you can at 32s would be pretty nice. And then again at 35s and then 45s. And then we get back to the 50-period moving average on TSLA, and then all will be fine. 220.70. Let's see if we can get that. I mean, hopefully we'll be able to do that right now. So NVIDIA's at a level again, so FYI on that. back down to the 138. We just bounced off that pretty cleanly. I'm still waiting for that low. I think we should be a little bit more picky on what we're trying to do right now. I'm fine with how many trades we have on this stock today, completely. That bottom, like, look at this. I almost forgot that we made the bottom in Nvidia there. So we made the top in Tesla, then the bottom in the futures, and also the bottom here in Nvidia today. I'm gonna need some psychological warfare helping after all this. 137.50, that's gonna be the stop. So actually that's 137 where we made, 137.37. So that's the low of the day. So if you're gonna average into anything, I think you gotta give it at least to 137 flat. Do not get stopped out by a couple wicks there. Make sure you're right on whatever trades you're trying to do. Futures look like they're bouncing, so we did make the bottom in those, so that's pretty sweet. And then after that, man, not much else going on. We pretty much made back what we lost there. Tesla did go up, and then we bought it back and was able to take some more out there. So again, scalping out right now is what's been saving me from complete disaster, because look at that, boom, boom, right into there. Out, and then loss, and then in, and then out, and then hopefully not the big L one more time, please. All right, DJT, people talking about that. You're on Intel
Very
right
quickly,
now?
I actually just got trailed out of Intel at probably maybe the wrong moment, because now the market wants to go back down. So it bounced off the low. I'm like, okay, let it bounce off the low. We'll hold it for a break, just trail it to the 50. It then broke the 50 and came right back underneath. Apple, which was bouncing, consolidation, higher low, was bouncing, was gonna take some out in front of VWAP. If it loses this prior low, it's like in the mid 30s, I'm out. You're not getting as big of a bounce as I would have liked. So out of the AMD short and out of the Intel short, and the market seems like it doesn't want to go up. I know some people are still maybe interested in news. So I was asked a couple times what the tap is. It keeps moving around here. It was 16, now $2.23. Now remember, with this stock, when it's doing this, it's not staying open more than a matter of seconds, and then it'll get to the next halt band, and then it's just halting again. I think the times when it's been reasonable, and again, it's just my personal opinion, to trade it is when it stops that whole halt to halt and gives you some kind of a range that you can play off of. Like, looking here at the middle of the day, it stays at the same area for like a half an hour, gives you a low, and then breaks out the top, then goes into a bunch of halts upside. You can actually reasonably trade this knowing there's liquidity here that you can put your stop underneath or at, and you should be able to get out, and then you've got the upside. Here, I think you're just sort of flailing at the wind until it makes some kind of a bottom on NUZE. So if you're already in it, hopefully you didn't buy the top. I don't know if anyone would be short this name. It's clearly printing at this point, but it's looking like the tap is going to be now 229. So it was all the way here. Now it's back at 229 for the tap. I'm just in Apple. Want to see if we can reload on any kind of a pop on AMD, but I'm not sure we're going to be obliged on that one. There was something else I wanted to look at. Oh, it was that. I know what it was. It was Amazon. Because Amazon, even on that dip, like Amazon was super strong, got right into a triple top up here. Now it's just sort of holding under VWAP, but it's not a random level on Amazon. Like, it basically just wicked and held almost to the penny yesterday's afternoon top. So it's green. I know it's under VWAP, but it is green. If the market can bounce from here, I kind of put it in the bucket with Apple. Only where it bounced is a really good technical spot. Like to break back out VWAP, and then Amazon look for longs in this name. I want to try only longs in things that look pretty strong. And Amazon, I like where this thing bounced.
All right, we're waiting for Tesla. I mean, we got out of that Palantir. We're almost out of all of it right now. Actually, we have 25% left of Palantir, so we actually get that 84. We didn't get the 80 that I'd hoped we had. And then there goes Tesla again. So we make the bottom. This time we are now out of 40%. I know maybe we should be out of more. So let's just wait to see. I'm still waiting for this 50 to hit. And if that can hit, then we'll be out of 50% of our trade. And then we can see about an upside move, especially if these futures get going here into the close. I mean, I think this stock definitely, after bouncing here, I mean, look what we did the last time we came into VWAP, right? I mean, it did nothing all day, comes in there, finally takes off, then comes in again and won't break lower. So I feel like the bulls want to win this. They want to close this day above VWAP. So let's wait to see. that happens. I mean, you know, we're not in control of what Tesla winds up doing here. Again, very, very vulnerable to stories. But at the end of the day, 220 is a very key level. I'm fine going long against that. And then my stop is a break of 220, back down a little bit lower than where we were, 219.80s and change for a break on that one. So, you know, we'll wind up losing again if we can't get any more outs, but hopefully we can get this out near that 50-period moving average. I mean, I like it. So let's see. Let's see how it's not going again. Sometimes you see something and it's like, oh man, I should probably be changing my mind on that one. Look at Google, the same thing. Oh, good, we made a bottom in Google today too. That's great. So there's another one there stopped out. And this is what can happen when you're doing this kind of stuff. We're still fine about it because, again, we were sensing the scalp out. I'd just rather be in them right now. But look, now you're back up to the 50-period moving average. So potentially, you know, being long on Tesla right now, influencing maybe a little bit. But, you know, there's Google. It's too bad because it's all the way back up. Stopped out by, again, a penny, I guess, on Google as we make the low of the day one more time there on Google. So, yeah, I have a bunch. It's surprising that we're doing this today because we do have a bunch of those that have created our, look at, oh man. All right, there we go. Finally, let's go. All right, so now I don't feel so bad. Let's spin this a little bit. We would have not liked to have gotten stopped out, but we did not do the wrong thing this time. And there it is, out at the 50-period moving average. We now have less, just a little bit less than half of this position left. And we're going to see, let's go now to see if Tesla wants to get back up to the upside. Those TQQs, you know, there it is, man. Make the bottom, no problem. Google, same thing. We'll wait to see what winds up happening now with this name. Good thing we got out more of Palantir. We'll wait to see now where we go. But I like Tesla back up into this level here, 221.50. See if we can get to that. First out, 221, then 221.50, and hopefully close that trade.
Yeah, get up. Looking for this market to do a nice little bounce in here. Amazon's trying to get to that VWAP. Apple, first fill. Yeah, okay, just got into the 75 range on Apple, but I'm looking for Amazon to take VWAP in here. Make that next step. Rounded bottom, break it out, put in a higher low, and then we want to go to work. DJT, I know a lot of, okay, there's a lot of people like talking about DJT. I looked over to see if it was doing anything at that $30 level. It tried nicely to break off 30. It did not hold on the dip. Lots of selling underneath. Look at it get to 30 again. So a bit of a liquidity grab underneath 29.60, and then the selling coming right back in at the even $30 level. If no buyers emerge above that price, you can forget about it. They came to play and then immediately went away. The last time it was at the $30 level. So I think it needs to hold above 30, or the long doesn't look very appealing at all on DJT. But hey, good luck if you're in it. Let's see if we can get to VWAP on Apple. Nvidia looks like it's going to try to get into VWAP, and then Amazon. Just looking for, it's already making the move into VWAP. Let's put in a higher low, and then I want to try and get it off of this higher low to set upside on Amazon. Let this one join the party. TSM chugging a lot. Kine Lin just said in the chat. TSM, the reason why everything was gapped up today was TSM. And their, amazing report. Quite frankly, it was just great. Doesn't look like it's doing a ton of afternoon volume, although it just picked up and it got VWAP as well. See, when TSM is strong, I feel like all the things that we like are strong. So it's probably a good spot to be looking for some long opportunities and maybe chip names, although Nvidia does not look that strong. Let me go over to Micron, because Micron was holding VWAP earlier. Yeah, Micron's above VWAP. Was long this one a few times. On the way up, good. On the way down, why go long on the way down? It's that simple. On the way up, it was just joining the trend. On the way down, you have to wait for it to make a bottom. It's made one, it seems, off of VWAP here. So yeah, maybe I like this. TSM's bouncing. I like a strong chip name to the upside. And this is above VWAP. 112.5 looks like a good support level. So I'm going to play back into Micron as we are actually ready. We've got a special treat for you. We have our guest of the afternoon at the desk with Brendo. Should I hear him?
All right, we'll fix that mic situation in 1 second, and then we'll come back. But we are very, very excited to have Worksport here, and we're going to talk all about that with Steve in just a second. Yeah, futures trying to go back to the upside here. We are still in Tesla. We did get a piece out of Tesla at 50 marker again, as it didn't go any higher than that. We were at 75s, gets as high as 65 right there. We are still $1 in the money on Apple. We've been holding that for a minute. Other than that, we'll just wait to see. I think the market has a good chance here. This NASDAQ drop right there was a problem. Look at that, right back up to the 50-period moving average. Frustrating day, but about to get a lot better. Let's go back over to Brendo.
Take two. Yeah, that was the press release that we spoke about with Worksport early on this morning. Showed you both the release and the chart in the pre-market this morning. The CEO, Stephen Rossi, CEO of Worksport, joining us for the first time on the show. We're happy to have him and get some insight into the company itself. First of all, Stephen, great to have you. And we'll talk a little bit about that note from this morning. But welcome, good to see you.
Good to see you as well. Thank you for having me.
Let's touch on this release for this morning. $2 million plus in possible savings. Tell us about that.
A lot of savings happening at Worksport. You know, I think one of our analogies is that an engine is least efficient when it first starts. So we're a brand new factory, a brand new business, scaling and ramping. So we had a lot of isolated expenses and operational overhead with respect to, you know, first-time expenses. So now as we're you know, really aggressively growing our revenues, we're also able to find meaningful savings and efficiencies, and that's total to $2 million in annual spend savings for this year for us.
Let's talk a little bit about the valuation of the company right now. A lot of people have mentioned, you know, possibly on the low side here. This is a very interesting company that's, you know, got its fingers and hands in a lot of different areas. We've highlighted a few of those in the truck, you know, sporting area. We talked about the, you know, the Rivian tonneau cover release going back a week or so ago. Exciting stuff to come. Tell us why, you know, we might be still undervalued at this point from your standpoint.
Worksport's run rate and revenues is running towards about $15 million annually, and this is our first portion of a year in terms of actually really ramping sales. Next year we expect considerable upside from there. We have a 250,000 square foot factory that I speak from here today. The value of the building alone, the real estate asset that we own alone, is a majority of our valuation. We have tens of millions and millions of dollars in equipment that's all brand new, millions and millions of dollars of inventory, intellectual property, almost 200 patents and trademarks on a global scale. And our targets are set on 9-figure revenues in a very short term, with profitability at the run rate, close to the run rate we're at now. So EBITDA, dividends, these types of things happen very shortly for us. We're talking months, not years from now. So a lot of intrinsic value, I think, for investors at our valuation today of around $15 million.
Going back to August of this year, the company surpassed, as you mentioned, $1 million in monthly sales. They're now targeting $1 million per week. Key factors driving such rapid growth for you guys right now. Touch on a little bit of where are you seeing the most demand in the sporting truck area of Worksport?
Pickup truck. I mean, our primary market has always been automotive. We're most notably known to be a hybrid solar producer. We produce solar tonneau covers that would recharge Rivians and Tesla type EV trucks. And I think that that's up and coming for us and would be a dramatic source of revenue for us. However, our primary business is made in America, assembled in America, accessories for pickup trucks, which there's over 60 million pickup trucks on the road just in the 48 states. It's the #1 selling type of vehicle. And I think the statistic is for households that earn over $200,000 a year, the #1 most sought after vehicle or owned vehicle by those upper revenue type households is an F-150. So we're just really in the right place at the right time. And I think we're servicing a niche market, but we have some breakthrough technology in terms of power, power generators and solar hybrid accessories that we're really looking forward to break us through into upper middle market revenues coming up.
The charging conversation as a whole in the EV market is such an interesting one. And, you know, I think the market itself, the EV market itself, would open the door to so many more buyers or potential buyers if there was a solution that, you know, could just be nonstop. And as you mentioned, with a tonneau cover, if you have a truck, you know, you get the solar tonneau cover. Is there a path towards a product, or is there a timeline of a path towards a product where maybe not, you know, continuous charge, but something along the lines that would get you through a day?
Well, so I mean, the solar panels that were put on the White House in the 90s were less than 15% efficient. The solar panels we're using today are 22% efficient. And with perovskite solar panels, we're even finding solar technology that can produce some form of energy off moonlight. As crazy as that sounds,
Wow.
solar energy is becoming much more meaningful. We provide 10 miles of the average 30 miles a day that an American drives. So to unplug that vehicle with our solar technology, 33% of the energy it needs is already a massive base hit. And this is our first product. We expect in the next 5 or 10 years will be a much more meaningful source of energy, completely green. So when the grid fails, hurricanes that we're seeing today, natural disasters, power outages, you still have a source of energy to be able to move yourself and get your vehicle moving.
Yeah, as I mentioned, I mean, it's a really interesting area and an interesting market, and I think just the scratching the surface, very beginning of what is to come, not only with this surrounding technology, but EVs in general. Let's look ahead, going into 2025. Give us some highlights here of what the company's looking forward to or expecting.
We're going to continue ramping up. We're planning on hiring. We have between 50 and 60 staff here at our West Seneca facilities in upstate New York. We're planning on scaling that up into the hundreds. We're creating American jobs, making Americans for American truck owners, making products for American truck owners. We're going to ramp up revenues. We have our target set on continued growth into 25, 50 million. As I said, we had $1 million year. Now we have $1 million months. Next step for us is $1 million weeks. We plan on launching our battery generator system, which is a global product, no pickup truck necessary for anybody at home, job site, campsite, first responders. We already have military relationships, government agency relationships. So think of a battery generator as a generator without gasoline. So we're launching our battery generator called the Core. We're launching our solar hybrid technology called Solus next year. And all the meanwhile, our conventional products are going to continue to grow at a rapid pace with target set at $1 million weeks. So we think that there's a huge upside opportunity, and we're looking forward to next year as a continued breakout year.
Just beginning, as we were saying, on the technology side of things for Worksport. Listen, I know you guys have facilities and spend some time on this side of the border as well. So next time you're in the city, please stop by and say hello, and we'll touch base again in the near future. Stephen Rossi, CEO over at Worksport. WKSP on the NASDAQ, guys. Great to see you, Stephen.
Likewise. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Stephen. Appreciate that moonlight. Oh, yeah, that
sounds interesting. I mean, I like the fact that what you talked about there with more and more people changing over to the F-150s.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, you're going to need more time. And the fact that this is like sort of iteration one, like more products coming down the line. So do your research about those guys and figure it out. But there it is. Great interview, Brendan. Thanks for that. Trying to bring new technologies to the space. I mean, EV's been hot, so why not? We're along with Tesla, and obviously here as that continues to go higher. I feel like bad, man. I mean, this Google trade also here, like that's now just finally starting to go. So sometimes, you could be right, but it's about the timing of when and if you've been right. So right there's Google at 163. We talked about it breaking. What's up, there he goes. Thanks, Fabian. Right there, and then boom, right now up into that level. Not bad at all. But we've been putting some damage back on the board here with Tesla. So there's a good out for us. Remember, we just said we were waiting at 60s. Well, we just got it right now, and we are at 60 right here, as we can all see. So hopefully we'll continue to go a bit higher here on Tesla. My next offer right now, 89s. So we talked about waiting just ahead of 221 to see if we can get that. And then, so there's the bottom, there's the top. We made both of them. But we're going to see if we can't get a nice positive day ending off with Tesla mooning here a little bit to the upside. Also, there's our amazing futures trade. We absolutely talked about why we wanted to get out at that. That was that low right into there. I mean, again, there's been examples where I've given these things more room and then got stopped out a lot lower. But yeah, I don't know. I gave it 4 or 5 cents. Does not work. And then there we go, get stopped out. Still fine on the TQs, but at the end of the day, missed opportunity there and missed opportunity on Google. Apple, still $1 and change in the money, but we did not reload it down there. We didn't reload anything, man. I mean, when Nvidia started going as well, we didn't reload that. We were talking about waiting a little bit lower. So if and when we get stopped out, because getting stopped out is going to happen. It's just a matter of how many shares you have and if you're able to, sort of take some profit when it was good. If it's just falling knife, you can never get out. Well, that's a different story. So we'll wait to see if we can do something there. But look what happened to Nvidia while we had that interview. We came right back in into the 50-period moving average. We took some out now as we start to get back upside here on this one. So $1 in now on Nvidia, but the more impressive name for me would be Tesla, because this is one that we've actually been actively trading over the last hour. So there it is, 220.65 coming into play. Maybe let's take out another piece here. It doesn't look like it wants to go. We'll just get something out at 65. There he goes. We'll just punch it out, get another piece. But 89 is where we're waiting for a decent spot to get more out here. We'll wait to see when that happens. 221, I think, can be seen here for Tesla.
Yeah, nice bounce on the market here, but the biggest volume candles pretty much since we came back on Apple. There was one actually, okay, there was one to the downside bigger than this on Apple to get us to VWAP. If it loses VWAP, I'm out. Simple as that. So my stop's underneath the 232, which you can say we got the 50s long, but we were long in the 60s. So up into VWAP, fail under VWAP, or at least break back down under. So I'm out of Apple. We'll look for a reload off of 231.5 where it bounced last time. If it can do it again, I'm all for it. I just feel like, the market tried to get to VWAP. The NASDAQ tried to get to VWAP. I have no idea if the ES was or not, but I can tell you the NASDAQ did and then pulled back. Amazon, however, broke above the volume weighted average price. Didn't really put in a clean higher low, but yeah, maybe that was an entry there. But like trying to bounce off VWAP. I like this trend into the upside on Amazon. So I'm going to wait for 231.5 on Apple if the market is going to come back in. But if we can show confirmation of a VWAP hold on Amazon, we still have an hour to go. Plenty of time for continuation in Amazon here. And the other thing we like about it, the daily chart, we're near the moving averages. The other thing I like about it, sort of like Apple, but in a more extreme sense, you're going into the same resistance level the last 3 days on Amazon with higher lows the whole way. So it looks like this is at least a relatively strong in what has been a somewhat, the market's up. Even though it seems like it's a weekday, the market is up. I just want a confirmation that we're holding VWAP. Let this close above on at least one candle, show me that higher low, and then enter into the long. I don't want to get trapped in a pullback. I'd rather buy on the way up than the way down. And similar thing with Apple, but I'd like it to retest 231.5, or at least show me some higher lows where I can jump into it. Because the second we lose VWAP, it's like, okay, now we're right back at the 80 level. Don't want to be forcing the hand to the long side there. I really did think on a push to the upside, AMD was going to give some kind of a reasonable bounce to play somewhere near to 158. Instead, it's just not really bouncing, hanging out off those lows. I'm not really seeing a great re-entry point. I know it's weak, but I don't really have a level to work off of that wasn't VWAP in that 158. So just got to be patient looking for those dip buys. Amazon and Apple, both of them looking pretty solid as we speak. Ron asking about HIMS just pumping. Did it? Really see. I haven't heard anything on HIMS today at all. Yeah, there's a little bit of a bounce here. The volume's the key, though. So yeah, it just did a little bit of a bounce, like 10 cents on a $21 stock, not bad. But the volume, not exactly a huge volume candle and not a ton of follow through. Like it looks like it is doing something after a bit of a downward trend, but it's not overwhelming. I didn't hear any news on it. 10 cents isn't a lot, especially when there's no corresponding. Like if that was a big volume candle, maybe something's going on you want to join. But HIMS, little move, but volume too small to matter there.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it seems like something just kicked up a little bit because I'm watching Tesla. It's not doing anything. It looks like it's Nvidia that's now trying to fall back in a little bit. So we're going to be patient with it. Again, we just got another piece out right there. So we are now less than 10% of our position that you're seeing right there right now. Let's take a quick look at DraftKings, see what that's doing. Someone said, is it a short? I know that was a little while ago. That was up to 38. I mean, yeah, if we like to short at 37, 38 is probably just as good. But the thing is, to me, everything changed on DraftKings. I mean, we already got that period right there, the 50-period moving average. So once it broke 37, we indicated that. Thank you to people in the chat that were like, yo, what about that? And that was a good trade there for sure on DraftKings. So that's another name to look at. Morgan Stanley. I mean, some of these bank names have been super, super hot for a minute, and they're going to continue to be like that here as Morgan Stanley today up again. We talked about this name sub $100 when it was down here and saying that it was already performing well. I had no idea if they were going to make, beat, miss, whatever, but they wound up beating on, I think, on both. And there it goes, nicely done to the upside right now. It doesn't look like it wants to fail anytime soon either. That, of course, is Morgan Stanley. So XLF, the bank ETFs just continue to outperform everything else. It seems like we talked about that a few times as well, that the financials are the #1 sector here in 2024. So, and again, helped a lot by the last week and a half or so, as we were down here at 44.45 and now all the way up to 47.65. And looks like it wants to continue to go a little bit higher
on
now.
the banks.
Yeah.
So a couple of days ago, TD Bank had that obviously judgment against them for money laundering, and there wasn't just the $3 billion fine. They also had a restriction on their growth in terms of U.S. deposits they can have and assets they're allowed to have. So I like the fact that this thing is actually calming down. We said give it a couple of days, but it's now held a few days at $56 here, which was a prior support level. So there's your 1, 2, 3. All I'm looking for is a break. If it can close tomorrow, or actually in the afternoon, if it's just above this 56.75 or close to 57 at the close, I'm probably buying this one in my pure personal account. I said I would wait a couple of days and it might be a buying opportunity. When the bad news comes in and it doesn't make a fresh low, take a shot at it. I mean, they're not going anywhere. If you don't know anything about banks in Canada, it's kind of like an oligopoly. It's not like the US where there's a ridiculous amount of competition. There's only a small number of big banks. And TD's the one with the most US exposure. That's why they've been beaten up here with that news. But still, I think it's a nice little opportunity. Even if it gets to the 50 period, that would be pretty good. They pay a solid little dividend there as well. But yeah, I said I would mention if I was interested in buying that one off the lows. Kind of like ASML. ASML, I want to still give it at least until Monday. I want to see it actually hold 700, especially that 675 level. But certainly I like buying these dips on quality companies. They start to bounce off bad news. Sometimes you get it at a discount. Like that John Deere story. Like sign me up if that falls on any kind of investigation. They're not going to do Deere dirty. It's too good of a US company. So Apple's still trying to make a higher low. It's not really setting up just yet. There was a higher low bottoming tail candle in here, and then it just broke out the local top. Still ended up holding there, and then get into VWAP. I want something similar. There's your bottoming tail candle. Show a little strength in here next, and then jump into the long. Timing's going to be everything this late in the day. Amazon, similar story, although it's now trying to hold VWAP. So a little bit stronger over here in Amazon than Apple. Ooh, NAM-N, MTEM a buy. So I haven't looked at that since I got out of it. I'm going to get my bid on Amazon and VWAP. Probably not, if only because I don't like these things once they've given the back end and it's underneath the buck. So here it is. It essentially broke out the top, gapped up, actually held above after a halt yesterday's highs, lost it on a move on a flush to the downside, and now you're right back at the 80 level, but you're underneath that dollar level that it failed yesterday. So I'm usually very, very hesitant to want to go long things like penny stocks that fail the dollar in a big way. It's now failed the dollar twice. So if it can hold above $1, maybe there's a second salvo, but I think there's going to be a lot of sellers at $1 on a stock like this. So unless you had it tight to that 80-cent level already, I'm not really looking to trade this again. Usually the no-fly zone once it's failed $1 a couple of times for me.
All right. Just looking around here to figure out what's the next sort of a play where Palantir is coming back up. We're not going to reload this one. We actually got another piece out when it broke through this 90 area there and got another piece, and we're back up into VWAP. So this could be a trade for anybody here. Normally, actually, let's just give it a shot till up here again, 42.15 or so, but Palantir does retrace all the way back. It is an interesting situation to try to go short now. The futures aren't really near there. This could, I mean, the more and more I wait for levels, the better we wind up doing. So maybe we should just continue to do that and wait. So let's wait a little bit. If we can get up into the 14s or 15s again on Palantir, we're reloaded. We only have now 15% left of this trade to begin with. So that's going to be a good one. Absolutely nothing going on there. All right, what else? Let's look at DJT. We haven't had a minute to look at that again. $30. Again, another very, very key level that we've sort of triggered on a couple times here today. Doesn't look like it wants to do much around here right now, but you are banging your head right against that VWAP. So that's going to be obviously a little bit of a level for concern there. But again, like the name, just got to wait for it. Hold on, off on that one, off on So I'm just making sure my stop orders are triggering as the market is trying to bounce again off of the 50-period moving average right there. All right, so what I was looking at was Tesla there, but let's give us some room there for Palantir. Looks like the futures are trying to bounce a little bit. Apple, why does Shopify keep on triggering here on my e-signal
Go Shopify.
scanner? It's you'll see in a minute. It's just because it's right here.
Oh.
It just keeps on. It's in between UOP, and it's not doing a whole bunch of anything right now. Thought that there was a chance for this thing to be moving around, but it looks like tricky. No,
That got me all excited. For a second.
right there, yeah, not much happening. But I still like Shopify breaking that high. I can't believe it was $50 back in August. Now $81. So we do like that name. Yeah,
Another stock failed a 52-week high recently. There's so many of them. Failed is such a harsh word. Like got to a 52-week high and couldn't follow through, basically. Like it failed, it'd be at like 76 already, 5%, 8% down if it was a real fail. But just it got right there, held it, consolidated, everything you'd want for a breakout, and then there's the dip earlier this week. So it's still trending to the upside. It's a great trend up. I mean, this stock is almost, 70% from the low? Something like that. It's probably close to 70% from the low, and that's just August. Like, I mean, how crazy has the move been in Shop? I just thought it was about to make that next leg. So, Canada.
Yeah.
Hopefully I didn't just jinx it, but go Shopify. I think it's going to be a good one. If the higher lows into a top break like this, it gets very, very spicy for Shop. And the best part about it is 84 has been a level. Like 84 is a level with like $10 room to the upside. That's what's exciting about a breakout here in Shop. Maybe it needs to take 85. Like 84 could just be like a trap, and then it has to clear 85, and then you'll get that move into the mid-90s. You can see all the way back into the beginning of said year.
Time.
Yeah, so not the beginning of time. Is that an all? No, because the all-time
No,
high
I
is
just
like
said that.
because the COVID highs on Shop were like insanity. Like it's like $175.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, like double this.
Okay, so we'll have to wait to see now about Shopify. Sorry, my bad. I thought that was going to be at a level. Let's check out Meta. We talked about that one there today a little bit. It is on the down. Oh, no, okay, it's up today, actually only up 1/4 of a point. I thought it was a little lower than that, but you can see right now Meta trying to bounce back. And, I mean, I'm trying to find something to trade. When the futures are going to do this right now, I mean, we waited for the ultimate bottom to come through, and unfortunately that little wick right there got us out of that trade, which is crazy. But now there's the move back, trying to bounce off the 50-period. Looks to want to get higher. Normally we'll try to go long or short based on what we think is happening in the futures. And right now there isn't much happening. So we should look at our sticky note today. Oh, you know what we didn't look at yet was Lucid. So let's have a quick look to see what Lucid's doing. That was on our note today. Ooh, what?
Oh, it's right back down.
There's somebody tracing this thing down, huh? I don't know. I mean, what is that? What is up with that size? Can I get short now on this? Oh, no, that's right. You got to pay.
I thought
no.
they're free, isn't it?
It's not that. It's the fact is
But it's SSR. You can't hit the bid.
SSR. So, yeah, you cannot. Glad that we had found this one here. But again, I don't know if this Memex is chasing it down or not. It just looks like there was some big size there. But the fact that it is SSR, there we go. We're now getting short. So now we're short. Okay. So now we're short as that size kind of disappears. I just think that this is maybe worth a shot there. I mean, look what this looks like. Whoops. It looks more starey, right now.
It's a trap.
It might be a trap.
Someone asked me to say that.
Yeah, we're short there at 265. We used to have that button there. Oh, there it is. Yo, you good?
I didn't drop it. It wasn't me.
Lars, man, anything all right back there? All right, so yeah, we just got some keyboards going the other way, and we joke, but we need to make sure everybody's okay there in the background.
Everyone's good. Everyone's good. WINT.
Short Lucid.
Lucid is in trouble.
Wow.
Okay, fine.
Let's hope so.
The stock is in trouble. It's been
stays low.
Gliding lower. There's so many of these small cap penny stocks that are just going this afternoon. It's weird. NTBL moved. WINT just broke $1. So this is the latest one to challenge $1. Whoops, I went the wrong direction. I wanted to show you the daily chart. Nothing great on the daily chart, so it has nothing to do with that. Doesn't really matter. There's so many penny stocks that have been going from MTEM to News to NTBL to now WINT. So it just made a rejection of buck and now holds. WINT finally. Oh yeah, that works.
Yeah, finally went.
If it holds $1, I'm going long. I'd like to see like the first little pullback off a break here because I don't want to chase this move. I like that. WINT went.
Yeah, exactly.
And now if it can hold the buck, it's pretty simple. You know, you have these 98, 97 level. That'd be a nice little place to put a stop order in. But I want to try to buy a dip here on this bad boy. Tom H in the chat says Netflix, exclamation mark. Yeah, I don't want to trade Netflix until it splits. And earnings tonight, anybody's guess. I mean, I think the problem for Netflix is like they don't really, you know, ever since they changed the reporting, like you're just not going to get any numbers on the amount of subs and that kind of stuff. Like they're a mature company, they don't want to give you those numbers anymore. So it's all about that EPS, baby, and it's all about that. All about that revenue, and they want to be about that. But we still care about how many eyeballs they got. So it'll be a little bit more difficult, I think, for people to digest. I don't love the fact that it's actually lost the 50 period today, going into the earnings. That said, it's been so strong. Certainly has a very good and long upward trend. It's broken a couple times, but that 200, it's been so allergic to the 200 that I feel like even if you got a dip down, like a serious dip down today on Netflix on earnings, if it were to go 10%, that's basically the 200 period moving average. It's hard. It is hard not to like that as a buy there. So I wouldn't even be afraid of a down move. I just feel like it might give an opportunity here on Netflix. I can see them being disappointed because we don't get that subs, and that's what we want. We're going to see users, man. Give us the user numbers. Amazon's trying to hold on to VWAP, local high here, local support down at 187.50. Doesn't look like it wants to hold on to that. Wish I had a short trade in here, but Intel wasn't obliging. AMD is 100% not obliging to give any kind of a pop. And Intel was way too strong, but I should probably go back over to it. If we lose that 50, I'm jumping out and we go 0 for 1 on Amazon. And maybe should have gone back to Apple, but Apple hasn't really set up all that well. Not holding VWAP. I liked it at the 231.5 level. Let me just check this Intel for, I mean, it's at VWAP, but look at that. Like this really rallied into VWAP there. I can't even imagine why it was so strong relative to everything else. Doesn't even make any sense. It goes from 0.25% up to 1.25% up when the market didn't really do anything. Don't like shorting a name that just did that. So no short for me on Intel, and slap the fail on Amazon. I just have to wait around for Apple or this Wint that's trying to go. There's the pullback into $1. I had it up on another level 2 over here. There's a pullback into $1. Just need to see it hold in a couple of beats here. You'll get the close of this candle, hold above $1, look for the long, give to probably the 97 level, I think. So ideally, I'd want to get 1s or 2s in here. But it just bounced off $1. Not a ton of size. It's done 8 million shares. Better if it done 40 or 50 million. But it's moving and it's doing volume, which is more than I can say for a lot of the market.
Yeah. This is why we hit this guy. See what's
do something
right now. See if we can get some stocks to do a little bit of something right there. We just, again, like today is the day of just like making tops, bottoms, and then missing fills. Like we were saying that we were going to take 42.15 on Palantir. I mean, it gets to 14s. And we're actually offering 14, just never got filled. So we talked about sitting in front of a level. We did it there, didn't get filled. And then it drops back in. But it's not like a big trade or anything. I just thought, hey, into that high right now, into a market underneath VWAP, into one that's really not doing anything as we listen in our ear for more unfortunate news, about the Middle East and things like that. So we'll wait to see, or just more Iran and Israel, I guess, and Hamas and all that stuff that's been hitting. But I mean, Palantir's been getting hit the last couple of days, again, because of the short float. People have been talking about how that's been increasing right now. Let me check to see what exactly it is. Netflix's move expected overnight on the earnings play is 7.5% is the expected news or move. 7.5, yeah.
So that's
in between 7 and 8.
That's really close to that 200 period moving average.
Right,
if it goes down that far.
Palantir short float. I mean, they only have on here 4.9%.
That's nothing.
Hold
on, but what's the days to cover on that?
Nothing.
It does a lot of volume. Yeah, no, it does tons of volume.
The volume is monstrous. But anyways, so right there, Palantir. We'll have to figure out what's going on with it. But again, nice move there. The EPS is pretty high right there. The earnings per share, the PE, sorry. It's not great, man. 200. It's gotten blown out. But again, as a software as a service type of play there for Palantir, we know what it means, right? You're trying to buy the future, and the fact that they have all the contracts and they have the software and looking to produce their Palantir. Okay, so Lucid's the newest position, so we cheer that one on to the downside. We did get more out of Tesla. I mean, again, we got that 60, we got that 50 right there. We'll wait to get a little bit more, but it looks like it does want to dip, duck, dive, and dodge itself right underneath this 220 area. I'll be a buyer. I wanted to make sure here before I go on. So I am buying 220s, 220. Yeah, 220. Okay. So we are buying 220s right now. If it comes in, we'll take that fill. We did get stopped out. We're there last time, but we'll use a little bit lower this time just to see. We do not need to get wicked out of this trade one more time, which we've done in the past. We got wicked out of a couple trades that we've indicated for you guys here. Lucid is the one for me. Let's wait to see. We are now near the bottom of this trade. We just got filled up. We got loaded up there, as you can't trade this thing off the ask. Sorry, you cannot. You have to trade it off the ask. You cannot hit the bid. So we had to wait for it to bump up a little bit there in order for us to get our shares. So here's the move down, and then lots of people like us thinking the same way. So now we're short basically right here. And I'm waiting for a break. I mean, I'd like to see it break this level, which is 71. We barcoded there. Like, that's literally a barcode. Actually, if you select this barcode, you get 6 months free Lucid Air in your tires. So you just push that there, you get that for free. But if you already have a Lucid Air, that's for you right there. But no, we're short here. Here it goes. Hopefully it breaks. We're short right here at 66. Hopefully it'll break lower. I'm not bidding anything until 62, which is sort of that low of the day right there, 62. So I just want to make sure that, yep, that is where we're bidding. So we'll get out of a quarter of it if it goes into the low of the day. That's the plan of action for me here on Lucid. So let's wait to see if we're lucky enough to get any fills.
Exactly. Lucid, get going. I know we don't root for stocks to go to the downside. However,
Oh, I do.
that's no, just in a general sense.
Oh, yeah,
But
yeah,
the trend on Lucid speaks for itself on the daily. Like, it's just it's short till it's not, and then you have an offering that they slapped in there. You know, it doesn't look very good for Lucid. I mean, you know what? That actually didn't bode well for Rivian either. I meant to go over Rivian because I did try a short on Rivian at the $10 level. I'll go over. But Wint did bounce off a buck, technically 101, but let's not split hairs here. I got 3s and 4s on the way up. There was really no chance to get 1s and 2s unless you were just sitting on the bid. I want to get out into 110 and then to 15s. On the daily chart, like, none of this really matters on the daily. Except for if it does make a big break through 10, about $1.30 is resistance on the daily. So to me, all out in front of the quarters and 30s if we get a bigger move on WINT. So Rivian, you would suspect, would not have a great day when Lucid had this news. However, the good news on Rivian is it bounced back up through 10. And I know because on the way back up, I went short through 10. I shorted pretty much exactly 10 and then got out at 10.04. And it's going to close right back above $10, down 1%. But once again, Rivian has managed to avert abject disaster. Looked to me like this could be a continuation move, down through 10, get into that 975 level, and then just continue its long, slow grind to the downside. But it's been holding on. There's been several tests of this $10 level. If this could hold, give a rounded bottom, break back out through $11, not a bad looking setup. The longer it consolidates in an even dollar like 10, I feel like the better it could get. But it still needs to make some higher lows and not just be slowly bleeding back in. The fact that it's going to hold 10 with the Lucid having the news it did today, I think is at least a little bit of a good sign for Rivian. So the 10 break, I mean, that's a kind of a way in the future kind of deal. And maybe there are some longs to be had off 10 as a day trade. So Wint needs to break 110. That'd be much better. Bavin in the chat says DJT is pushing through 30. Is it, though? I mean, it's trying. It's trying. So the last time it was here at the 30 level, it held VWAP. I know because I went for a punch of 30, and my stop order triggered, and I got filled at 30, which really just meant that it didn't actually break 30. There was like a dark pool wick above. So I instantly, whenever that happens, I'm like, okay, let's just get out 75%. Because it didn't actually make the break. I do that, do not get a stop order back in to go long, and then it broke out. So it did me dirty by getting me out of 75% on a false break and then deciding to run right after the fact. So I want to see some confirmation over VWAP that there's actually buyers above that price because it failed it. It was a decent move. It got up to like 40s and then turned around, but it was a decent move. Volume, not that great. Let's see some confirmation here on DJT before we think it's going to actually rally off this 30 level. It's been these penny stocks that have done a little bit more this afternoon. Although, of course, the second we get in one, it's now Wint is not going. M10, I'm assuming, is not doing anything. Yeah, see, you just can't get back to that dollar level. There's always sellers on the way back in at $1 because it's such an obvious place to take profit. Like, look at it break 50 and then look at it resist $1. Like, if you were long that early break and you were holding this all the way back through, my guess is trailing stop it through 75 or 70, and if it gets to $1, you're wanting to take profit. It's 330. So anyone day trading this stock long is certainly considering, I got to get this one out, and if it fails $1, I don't want to get trapped. So Wint's above it, M10 is below it, doing pretty good volume, this MTEM though, 200 million. That's pretty impressive.
Everything I'm sitting in really,
a lot of volume.
I mean, we talked about that news there today was moving around. We had all those names yesterday, ALT, no.
Oh, it's going to halt up.
Yeah, something yesterday, LT something. And then there was drug yesterday, DJT.
Oh, wow.
And SpaceX? What's a space symbol that we could trade today? SPCE. Let's have a quick look here. Virgin Galactic. I'm just listening to a story in my ear there, and it was just about something about how the Biden administration is talking about easing space equipment or something, tariffs on space equipment or something like that. So I don't know. Look at Boeing. Look at some of these things. I remember the story about how those astronauts were stuck there with Boeing. So obviously there's GE as well. There's a bunch of different places that are producing things for space travel. But Boeing again, so I don't know. We'll get what that story is in a minute, but who knows?
What's a proxy for trading SpaceX, though? Like, what can we even trade?
SpaceX? I don't know. I was just looking at Virgin Galactic, which is SPCE.
No, there was an ETF.
Yeah, we talked, Obi and I mentioned that yesterday. Obi mentioned it yesterday.
What was the ETF called?
DVXY or...
DXYZ?
DXY.
This is it, DXYZ. This is... Oh, this doesn't do any volume.
No, I mean, that was dead for a while. I still think that there's something fugazi about that.
Oh, this thing does 200,000 in volume. No, this isn't tradable.
No.
Yeah, you can't trade that.
Nada. Right there. Yeah, DXYZ. Yeah, those guys are talking about it there. I think something like that, you sort of got to do your research on and then figure out,
I think the problem with this one...
exactly they're holding.
Remember when they came out and people were saying if you... Like, the fair value of their holdings was way lower than where this thing was trading. Like, this was trading at like multiples of the valuations of what it was holding, which is a huge problem. I guess it was a way for people to get in, and then that's why when it came to market, yeah, there you go. It kind of scrolls up, and then it just dumped right back in. So yeah, I think that's a bit of a nothing burger. It'd be great if there was something more liquid that we could engage in trading in to be involved in SpaceX. I'd love that.
We only have,
Fortunately, there's
eventually it'll come through, and then we'll figure it out.
Yeah, but the problem is when it comes to, if he ever brings it public, there's no chance it's going to be a valuation that anyone's going to want to buy right away. Early looks on the imbalances, nothing burgers, LO, except for FXI here. So FXI is an early look, 4 million to the buy side. Nothing else stands out. And if you remember, was it 2 weeks ago, right? I think it was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
There was that huge rally on FXI, presumably because there was an imbalance on it. I don't actually know that for a fact. Oops, why did that just go to? Well, just keystroke that. There we go. So if there is some kind of a move on FXI, what I want to see is that number on the early look imbalance. I want to see it growing, and I want to see it stay a buy at 350. And then we might look for a long trade going into the close. Right now, it's not moving at all. FXI is down 3%, along with pretty much all the others not looking very healthy. But yeah, 4 million, not a small imbalance there. It's done 44 million in volume. The unpaired amount is larger than the paired volume, which is also usually a good sign. It's indicating that like the theoretical auction price, if they were having to pair off that imbalance right now, 31.38, doesn't mean it's going there, but it does mean this is a pretty decent early imbalance on FXI. So that might be worth having up on, just some kind of a level 2 for something to possibly trade at the close here. I was looking at Intel for potential short, but I don't know. It's at VWAP. It's under VWAP now as the market's coming back in. I feel I should be like, this is right in the area that it's been a good short every single time, right at the 22.55 zone, and then see if it can't get back into the lows. Otherwise, keep an eye on that FXI. That could be something.
Yeah, we talked about that before, just trying to figure out, who's making what kind of money here. And we could do that right now. Let's have a look at who's making money at real trading and what some of those levels look like from yesterday. Let me just refresh this. I think this is right. Right now from yesterday. So the top 10 traders, this is not today. It is yesterday. Again, so here we go. Amex, Blue Ocean, Chicago Mercantile Exchange, Hong Kong, NASDAQ, and New York. So some trader at real trading, congratulations right there, 17,000. These are all going to be US dollars. So when we're talking about what these traders are making, 17.3 right there. A couple traders right there, Canada. So, we do have a lot of offices here in Canada, so that would make sense why that is exactly that. Tesla just dropped down there, so we'll get stopped out, breaking through 20s. Of course, I have nothing to talk about until I do, and then I go to this, and then Tesla breaks lower. All right, Canada and Amex there, so someone trading spiders with Canada again. They're 4,000 again. New York and NASDAQ, someone took home yesterday. Another NASDAQ trader, 3,000. Amex, NASDAQ. So nothing on Europe there from yesterday. There is a little Hong Kong love there, and did I see it anywhere else? No. So basically Canada right there ruling the roost in real trading yesterday, as far as that is concerned.
I'm curious what Blue Ocean,
Galactic,
because typically if Blue Ocean's up there, that means there was an equity that was worth trading moving around in the aftermarket. And I can't think of what it would be. Like I remember when the Tesla event happened, of course, people were using Blue Ocean to make real money because, Tesla's going nuts. Like you want something like one of the big names to be doing volume if you're going to be trading the overnight market. And I can't think of a thing that would have been going wild last night. But it's always worth a look. I keep saying whenever the election, not whenever, the night of the election, that is going to be the day to trade Blue Ocean on DJT. DJT is going to do a ridiculous amount of volume on Blue Ocean. And I guarantee you there's going to be a lot of traders at real trading. Up or down, obviously it can go either direction. I actually don't know the rules for shorting on Blue Ocean, to be honest with you, whether you can have shorts, but for sure that's going to fly around. So I'm short back into Intel, right back here at that 55 area. It's got some 54s. We'll see if this can play back into the bottoms. The NASDAQ is kind of trending back down into the bottom. The ES at the lows of the day as well. ES is barely holding green. The S&P 0.3 and right at those lows and trying to bounce here. We've got about 30 minutes left to go in here. Still have some eyeballs on that FXI. Just if anything happens, it hasn't done. It's still at 4 million. But I want to see if it gets any bigger. If I see it spike, I might try to punch long into that one. But outside of that, let us know what else you guys are watching in here. Drug was big yesterday. John just mentioned. Apogee King Capital. Blue Ocean is just the name of an overnight trading market. So you can I don't know if it's I'm not sure if it's every symbol that is available. I do know that almost every liquid name on the North American markets is available to trade. Like all the high liquidity names are available to trade. So you can trade in the aftermarket like late. I'm not talking till like 6 o'clock. We're talking overnight. You can trade like 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night on Blue Ocean. So that is a good opportunity for traders when there is something happening. That's why I referenced the Tesla event. I don't know. And again, I've never traded. I do know a couple of traders who have, and they say if there's something going on, then there's decent amount of liquidity, but you want to make sure there's actually something in play. Otherwise, you might not have enough liquidity to trade like you normally would.
Yeah, exactly. So take advantage of that whenever there is something there. And you know what? Might not have to do nothing. And just, you could find some arbitrage opportunity or something like that. Traders are very, very smart around here. All right, so... Okay, we got it. We'll hit sirens. It's a new position. We try to do that every time we get into a new position or get out of one. We talked about getting out of Tesla. We're now short in Tesla underneath 220. Let's see what it wants to do here into the close as the market, as Neil just mentioned, right back into those lows again. We already had a liquidity grab down there that we were part of. So hopefully we'll be able to be a part of one now the other way, and we can get a lower tick there and not get stopped out and maybe take advantage of that low if it does come into play right there. But Palantir, so we did get, that's why we hit that. We did get a 42.15 fill, 14s fill right there. So hopefully once that comes through, we'll be able to get that out. And I'm looking for VWAP out. So There it is right there, 03s. I'm actually at 05s, yes. To get, okay, here we go. Maybe we'll get some of that at 05 or so. So a little bit of a trade here. It's not bad. It's 6 cents in the money. We do have the imbalances coming out. Maybe we could take an 06. It looks like we'll probably get that in a minute on that downside as we looked for some more imbalances. Neil just went over some of them there, looked at FXI. I don't see anything here. Well, these will all be broker related. So these will all be New York names right now. I was hoping to see Palantir on there. We bought Uber today at 80 bucks. It did go as high as 80.80, it looks like. This is the start of a longer term trade. I really think Uber has a good chance of going here. I really like the stock moving forward. So we'll see what happens there with Uber. Nothing else on here at all. All right, well, now we're short. We just took a 70. I'm trying to give this 5 cents. We talked about what we would want to do here with Lucid. So we were very, very patient. We just get that fill right here at 70. I don't know. Like if this takes 72, right there, that's 71. We'll wait to get a 72 fill. We might even just, like, I don't really necessarily want to get punched out at 72. So hold on a second here. I'm going to cancel that and just trigger it out myself. So we'll just continue to watch this, see what winds up happening. I'd rather punch out once it breaks 72 and like I can like get it like almost like right now, you know what I mean? Like as it's breaking, punch out right now, so that I'm not like punching out too early. So let's wait to see here. Here it comes into 72 right now for Lucid. It's a 5 cent hit, but we do have shares. So, you know, however many you have there, it does mean something on that level. So we'll wait for it. 272 to break, manually punching this one out on Lucid.
Yes, sir. And if you're looking for opportunities as a professional trader to step your game up, look no further than eSignal, because you want to trade smarter, not harder. Upgrade to an elite trading experience with the platform that allows you to analyze, strategize, capitalize. See those profitable opportunities with the platform that you need. We're talking about instant trading, infinite data, charts that are going to change the game for you. Every indicator that you can possibly imagine. And most importantly, at least I think most importantly, the ability to take those indicators and take that data and backtest and scan, so that when you develop a strategy, you can find out, has it actually worked in the past? And you can forward test. Is it starting to work in the future before you put any real capital towards it? Scan for moving symbols, relative volume, or any indicator that you like. You got reliable real-time data on pretty much everything you could want to trade, so that when M10 goes nuts like it is, you're going to be able to find out that it's going absolutely ham. That's why everything you need is all in one place here with eSignal, professional trading software. Check it out. Scan that QR code that you see in front of you, or click the link in the description below. And if you want to step that game up, I know a lot of traders, and especially the ones that are more advanced, they pretty much all have spoken very highly over the years of eSignal. And I wasn't lying about M10. You know, M10 blasting, there was that, HKD made some moves. There was that NTBL was going. You want to be able to find these if this is your bag. So that dollar level, yeah, it broke it kind of fast. It broke that just like right as I was saying, man, this volume is really good. It broke $1 and halted up, then bounced off $1 and halted up again. Just reopened, but it's challenging to hold above that previous halt high at 125. And if this can hold above here and retake the high, that could get very, very spicy. Now the problem with, and so I'm not taking a break long, and I think the daily chart will probably show you why I don't like it. Look at what happens like at 135 to 150, brick wall on this stock. I mean, just an absolute brick wall. I think that's why and the 50 period's obviously going to be there when it hangs out that long. I think that's why you're running into a lot of overhead resistance, and it can seem to make the punch through. As weird as it is, sometimes you'd rather buy high, sell higher. So without this, breaking out these highs and getting through 50, I think it's a little bit tricky to want to go into that long. You needed it off the $1 level, I think. And then you could be holding it into the highs as opposed to being that person that hits it at the high. You don't want to be that guy.
Look, I saw some people questioning the short in Palantir. I was questioning him myself, my guys, right there. But at the end of the day, right, we get that. We get those levels. I mean, it has to come down into that 200 period moving average. So we'll take that. You guys know that we do that day in and day out here on the show, especially when we do hit key levels like that, you know, high into those levels. There's the first couple of those. You all right there, Fabian? What was that? What was that about? Oh, lifting? No, I don't. I'm short. Here.
Wow.
Come on, Fabian. Come on, man. What are you trying to lift up the stock I'm short on?
Fabian's a hater.
Right there. No, Fabian. No, he's trying to. Yeah, he's trying to help it out, but he just didn't realize the way there. But we are short there, so it's a nice move back in there. So we'll start to cover it out right there. And yeah, nothing but love for that name. All right, you know, that short worked in around 220. We're able to get some out down here in the 70s and 80s. We did reload it right here at 08s, but it's about to come out again as this market does make a nice move down in, but does not continue. So no real continuation there. We basically bouncing off. I mean, at least that bottom wick now that we made is no longer the bottom wick anymore. So there it is right here on the TQQs. So now we don't look as bad anymore making that bottom, but at the time it still was bad. I still think it does look pretty bad, but that's what that is right there. So good on us for that. We did get out of 75% of Palantir down there. Again, we don't have any outs until it comes back in. So that, to me, again, the key to what I've been doing lately is trying to take better positions and wait sort of for more extremes. You know what's fell out, and I'm not even noticing this because Nvidia is not a big part right now. But yeah, I'm about to say this as well. Nvidia right now coming back in. Where am I buying this? Literally at the bottom? All right, I thought I must have not had a bid there. So that's on me 100%. They're not having the bid down there on Nvidia. We should have done that, but we did not. So Nvidia right there, we should have had a bid as it drops in. Oh man, that's too bad. We'll take some now at 78s. But at the end of the day, we are still waiting for this 137 to break. So let's see what it wants to do here at the end of the day. We should have already been buying some Nvidia dips, but we did not. So 137.50, the next dip buy opportunity. And then if it breaks 137, let's get out because we're getting close into that level here into the end of the day for NVDA. It looks like Tesla will go back upside. So it's a good decision that we were able to get some out there when it broke. But now it looks like it's trying to get spicy back there to that 50-period moving average, which will be our out there on on Tesla. If it does go back up, we so far survived Lucid, but it's just at that level here. So way too many positions for me right now. But again, they're not super heavy. We just did add in. There goes Tesla. So Tesla breaks higher. Fine by me, honestly, on that trade. Right there, not too much damage there. We did like it, but back and forth. It's not worth using big shares near the end of the day because it's a lot of this back and forth stuff, but you know, still opportunities to get something going. Palantir is a good one. We'd already talked about that. That was a good trade. Apple's not doing anything. Lucid's just hovering at this level for me. Again, we could get more out at 71 and take this as a 4-cent hit, but let's see if it can get back in. We have those imbalances now. We're 7 minutes away. Maybe there'll be a sell imbalance. If not, we're definitely on this, watching it like a hawk, breaking through 72. So that's the 200-period moving average. We talked about trying to hold it into this. So now let's wait to see what happens. I'd hate to give it up now and then it runs, but we have to be disciplined and get out when it's necessary. So Nvidia is falling back in a little bit now. Here comes that 50 level that we like.
So FXI is dead. It's paired the entire imbalance off to save 1 million shares. So it's, you know, it's not going to be a look. I think it's always worth it. You just never know what's going to happen. I thought maybe if that flipped too fast. You guys didn't see it. If that 4 million held or grew, there could have been a trade. Instead, it's now down to 1 million shares. So unless that does something drastic, there's not going to be an FXI trade for me. Intel just bouncing already, so it can't even go more than 5 pennies in here. Got a little bit further last time, but I'm not going to let this one break above VWAP. MTEM is trying to hold this $1 level again. It's doing a not great job of it, kind of breaking the dollar level, and then there's not a lot of size and buyers that are stepping in. So I'd like to see it kind of, you know, do a little bit of a liquidity grab underneath, maybe get some people out, and then hold above $1 to try this back up through the $1 level. But it's not a lot of buying just yet. The local bottom's 98. Right, hold this one, maybe break some twos here, and then see if it can hold on to this 98 or 99 level. But the buyers just no buyers step in. Try to get back above, nobody would buy twos, and then it's right back in to $1. So that's what I'm looking for here, just a quick little retake of one, maybe play it back into 15s and 20s, and then get in, get out, as we only have 5 minutes till the imbalances come in here. So unless an imbalance trade shows up, one of these runners It's probably the only thing I see giving a really good scalping opportunity. That's why I'm looking at that MTEM again, doing great volume, 216 million shares, and it's still doing very good volume as we speak. It's just the buyers. The buyers are almost like they're bleeding and not going anywhere. I have it on a different level too. I just want to double check DJT. Nope. Still no buyers above the 30 level. And I've been asked about news in the aftermarket. I have no idea. I don't have a clue what this is going to look like in the aftermarket. But if they can barely hold this thing open throughout the day today, and it's halted, where is my counter? 35 times it's halted today. 35 times. If that's the case, I don't think anybody wants to be trying this sucker out in the aftermarket. Like what? Like how the heck are you getting out of a trade in this thing? In the aftermarket, so we have stop orders that actually, we have real trading. We have stop orders that work in the aftermarket, and I wouldn't trust them on this thing because I don't know what your slippage is going to be. 10%, 5%, 20%. Like in the open market, you can make a reasonable guess because you can see liquidity in the aftermarket. I mean, all bets are off. So I wouldn't touch this with a 10-foot pole normally unless you had these nice little consolidations in here. In the aftermarket, how's about no? Because as easily as it can go up when there's no halts, hey, no more halts, it's the aftermarket. Yeah, well, it also isn't going to help you with a halt down to control trading, and you can just get real stuck in something like that. So, I mean, people say fortune favors the bold, but if you can't manage the risk of your trade, like the reason why you can take shots on Apple and Nvidia is there's unlimited amounts of liquidity in those stocks. You can formulate a trade because you have a reasonable expectation as to where you can get out. But on news in the aftermarket, I would say I have absolutely no clue what my risk would be on any trade. Therefore, there is no trade. Good luck to anybody that happens to be long. I guess technically if you bought it this morning, you're not out of the money. But news, sorry, I'm just on M10 there. I meant to be on news. Like news, at least it hasn't halted in the last 15 minutes or so. There's that. But that's not really saying much today. 580% is nothing to sniff at, but it was 1,000% earlier and could be under $1 tomorrow. That would not surprise me one bit.
All right, I'm trying to get off of the bid right now and trying to just trade with a little bit lesser shares as we are now 3 minutes away from the imbalances. So, yeah, I mean, we did take some more Nvidia there, got some more out in and around 137.90, 138 there. It did rip back up. So, you know, we took some more shares there, got some more out. We did talk about this level. We want to try it one more time down here at 137, but we're taking less and less shares. So we do have a bid right now at that bottom just to see. It almost came in and we took some 50s there and that bottom almost came through again. And if it does, I think it's worth trying it again. I mean, the imbalance is basically a coin flip. I mean, I don't know which way we're going to go on them. We did get out some more of Palantir there on that move, but there's really nothing significant on here right now. We're going to get rid of broker, and then that way, once it applies out, we'll see on the NASDAQ and NYSE only at 350. So that's 2 minutes away on that one right now. We did good by not punching out of Lucid. It has come back in a little bit right now for us. Palantir, we got some more. I didn't get filled. All right, I was bidding 04s. We missed it. So we're still going to wait for Palantir. If that rips up on an imbalance, it rips up on an imbalance. What can I do about that one? We'll wait to see if that hits. Nvidia, we just talked about it. And then the only trade that we have on, we still have this Apple trade, but it's, again, very, very small. We'll probably take this out almost right here at 2. I might as well put an order out right now just in case. I was looking at that FXI as well, but it's not doing anything. All right, so we'll put something out. There we go. Well, we offered O's and we get filled. So that was a good trade there. And Apple just off the open. Again, 230, 231. It bounces off 233. We should have got more out there, but we already have some out at the top. I didn't know that was the top at the time, but look at how good that was. 230, 250. So that's definitely, raising some suspicion there for tomorrow. 230, 250 on Apple. Same way we hit that DraftKings trade. Noticed it and then hit it. So, all right, man, Nvidia is going to give us one more shot even before these imbalances, it looks like right now, as it looks to be moving on down here, Nvidia. So we'll wait to see one more second if we get a 137.30. But you're very, very close. We're now less than a minute to go. Probably going to come a sell imbalance by the way this is reacting. But again, pretty light shares. We're just going to try it off the bottom there. Maybe we get a little bit of an action like that, and then we'll figure it out from there. But so far, so good on the Nvidia move down if you're short. Just back into day right now. Still up 1.3%, but down on the day. Do not fight the trend, man. The trend here for Nvidia has been short side.
Yeah, this market just doesn't want to seem to go. That M10 got to 110 and that's it. So it bounced back through $1. Very, very light move. Volume starting to drip away there. So just going to be getting out of this. I don't even want it getting back through $1. Like usually give it to the local low because you think you can make a bigger move. Nah, if it goes underneath $1, just get out. Got out of 2/3 of it already. Might as well just hold on to Intel, see if anything happens there. That FXI, total nothing burger. They get paired the whole thing off. So from 4 million to I don't even see it anymore. So we'll give a look in about 2 seconds as to what happens on the imbalance locator. Anything popping up here? Lamb Research is a sell. LRCX, Lamb, 1.4 million to the sell side. Lucid, a 2 million buy. Apple, 1 million sell. That's Broadcom, 700,000 to the sell side. So that looks like, I mean, it should be sells. If Apple's a sell and Broadcom and Lamb a sell, that's a big one. So M10 just came back through $1. I just jumped out of that. Intel must have, what happened there? I wasn't on the locator. Oh, that just popped back into 44. So I got the bids to get me out of Intel. Same range, basically 10 penny range the entire afternoon. You could take it twice, and that's about it. So I'm not in anything. But Lamb, you don't usually see Lamb. I've never seen Lamb on the imbalance locator, but it's now split, right? So it's a $70 stock. I keep forgetting that this is now tradable because it's no longer a $700 stock. So 1.5 million to sell. The issue with that is Lamb was already at the low of the day, which makes it no trade. I never want to play an imbalance if it's a short. You don't want to play it off the lows because then if it pairs off, all you do is lose. You'd want it to be at resistance or somewhere in here on Lamb. So yeah, Lamb down 1 point today, not looking very good. What's the reason for them being down today? I don't recall hearing a story for Lamb. Wow.
I mean, a lot of these stocks, other than, I don't know if AMD's up or down.
I guess it's the ASML
yeah, exactly. They're the same.
hangover, I guess.
Yeah, into that. I mean,
good company.
AMD's near the bottom here as well. Okay, so Nvidia did do what we thought it would do. It did make that dip, duck, dive there. We were able to get out some at 50, and here it comes. It looks like it's going to break right now. Do I not have where's my stop there for this? Okay, so it was a little bit lower than that, 130. We said we changed our stops a little bit there, so not exactly at 137. So we'll wait to see how much lower it goes than that. So we did not get stopped out there. But at the end of the day, man, I mean, this is not really, it's not a big position. We're going to wait for it. It did come in. We were very, very aware of that. We lowered our shares. We talked all about it. All right, so we were able to punch them out at 71s now. Now that I see 73 coming into play here for our good friend Lucid, as you said, it came a buy. I can't win for losing today. And there it goes. So, it could have came a sell, does not. Comes a buy. We punched them out at 71s. Now it looks like that 73 coming into play in jeopardy one more time there. So we'll wait to see what that wants to do. Palantir does fall in again for us. So that's pretty good. Into 90s now. At least that's working out. We'll put some Palantir love back in right now. And why not just get it? We'll just get it all out at 95 if we're able to. Cancel everything else. Make sure we do get that fill and not get overfilled. An overfill would mean like I have too many orders so that when it hits 95, then I reverse into a long, and there it goes. So we are out of that one. Fire off a hot dog cannon for Palantir. I mean, at least that was 20 or 30 cents, only a $42 name right now. But we will fire reverse hot dogs right here at Nvidia as it's still trying. We're long here at 40. It's trying to hold 137. Kind of surprised that it didn't sort of flush through that even more aggressively than it did. We were, okay, here, I mean, now I say that it's probably going to go. Where is the imbalances, or where are the imbalances? Yeah, so Lucid's still there. It's come back in a little bit, probably will pair off eventually. Nvidia is a buy, so there it is right there. Not helping, there, we're almost out, there we go. Now we're out. Not helping the stock is that buy, so yeah, that's a little strange. We probably just made the bottom. We don't need to get back in. It's 353 right now on Nvidia. We've already talked about making the bottoms over and over again, so we probably just made another one there into the close. 136.89 we just got stopped out at. So we'll see where that goes. Hopefully we wind up a little bit higher for our own personal accounts than where we are right now, but we got stopped out there. Again, not going to cry over spilt milk. That was a trade that we kind of expected to come into play there on those imbalances. So yeah, Nvidia, the trend right there. Just go short, underneath VWAP, underneath everything. So we'll learn about that. We did try it off this low of the day, and then I think we got sort of imbalanced there a little bit at the end of it all. The only position we have on now is Lucid, so we'll wait to see here, as it does not go through that 73, but I think that's imminent. We'll wait for 355, and then we'll get the flip up on that. So once that happens, we'll go back in. But right now, Lucid trying to get through 273. That's my punch out spot.
Yeah, this market not looking very good. There was a volume spike on forward air there that a couple people were mentioning right before the imbalances came out. There's not a lot of volume here. I wouldn't trade this. There's only 5 minutes to go and it's less than 1 million shares, but they retained investment bankers to sell the company. So another name, probably worth monitoring tomorrow to see if anything Nvidia becomes of this, as it's breaking higher and higher. This has been trending up. Usually when a stock has gone 3.5 times, like 350% in half a year, that's not a moment in which you're like, yeah, we're looking to sell. Like when the stock has been that strong, I'm just not used to like, yeah, we're gonna look to sell the company. That doesn't make any sense to me. But I don't know anything about forward air. I still would have expected to see a downward sloping chart, or at least one that was flatline, not one that's performing incredibly well. If the shareholders are probably very happy with what's going on with Ford, but worth keeping an eye on, I suppose. Everything usually flips at 355. There's nothing left on the locator over 1 million shares. There, TLT is the biggest thing of note, 600,000 now to the buy side. So not a heck of a lot going into that close. Netflix does report after the bell. I don't remember, double checked what time it was after the bell, but Netflix, they're the major earnings tonight. Going to end up down 2% here on Netflix, and barring some kind of a minor miracle, not a great day for Netflix relative to the overall market. Loses the 200 period moving average. That said, that 7% expected move, that would put you more or less right on or very close to that 200 period moving average if it ends up being the downside. I don't mind that at all. I'd much prefer a split. I feel it is overdue for Netflix. You perform like this, everyone else is doing it. We just talked about Lamb now being a more tradable stock for everybody. And no, it doesn't fundamentally change anything when you do a split. However, these days, it does make it cheaper for people to get involved with options, because if you get assigned, hey, it's much better for you if it's only 70. It's just cheaper for you to be able to trade in options and actually be able to take a delivery there. But we'll see what happens with Netflix. I'm not saying there will be one. I just really would like for that to be the case. And then more people will be trading this one on a daily basis. So good luck to everyone. If you hold it, I own the stock. I'm hoping for good. But if it's bad, could be a buying opportunity off that 200 period, which I always love.
Yeah, we've been at Netflix for a minute, so we'll have to wait to see. We did make the bottom in Nvidia, so that's another bottom that we made. And by the way, Lucid right here, not that bad after all. It pulls back into 70. We get some outs at 70. We did punch out of a little bit there at 71. We talked about that. We get some 70s. Now we're short 70. We'll see if we can get some 68s. I'm actually waiting for that. Just one little push down, and I think we could be able to get it. I mean, we could bid some 69s maybe and just put a bid there and see if there's one extra little flush and get that, and then we'll wait for our 68. So one more push lower here, and we should be able to get some fills. Did we just get that? No, we did not. There's so much volume going through. Look at it. All these blues are all in the middle. These are all dirty, dirty half prints that are coming through. Like, no one's actually hitting the bid with anything right now. They're all getting stopped by whoever's sort of in the middle right now. It looks like Edge A's I could switch over to and probably grab that fill. But right now, we'll wait to see if it does break it. And then we'll wait for a 68. Yeah, it doesn't look like it wants to give it up at all down there. So we'll bid another gateway here and see if we can get a 69, and then hopefully get a flush into 68, and then end off on a good note for Lucid. It'll be a down stock, but we sort of got saved there. There we go. So now we get the fill. So there you go. See, we switch gateways, grab the fill there at 69, and now it's, you know what, whatever. I got to go set this thing up. We'll bid another name. We'll bid another 69 here. There it is. So now we get that. So see, you just switch over your gateway and you can get the fills. So there it goes. We do get that fill on Lucid, as you see a lot happening now into that downside. So only a minute and a half to go. 7% expected earnings there move on Netflix. So we'll wait to see what that happens. Again, 7% on this. We'll see if we can touch 600 or 750 at the end of the day. We'll see if we can get one of those. That would, of course, be 10%. But we'll wait on Netflix, and that should be a fun one. So, all right, we'll see you guys. Oh, no, I'll see everybody on Monday. I'm not here tomorrow. It's another hockey tournament. Word. So we'll see everybody. Yeah, Obi will be here. Again, all right, only 1 minute to U.S. market close, everybody.
Yeah, less than one. Well, actually, 1 minute to go. It's less than 1 minute. I look over. It's exactly 1 minute to go. But the aftermarket should be a blast as well, because I'm curious to see what news and MTM are going to do. So many penny stocks and small cap runners that are going. Just be careful if you're trying to trade these. And I keep saying this, but yeah, we say it because we mean it. Be careful if you ever try and trade these in the aftermarket. It is a very tricky thing to try to pull off. When there's not a lot of liquidity prior, I'm just looking over at news as well, which is basically the same thing. You know, there'll be a very large premium on liquidity in the aftermarket. So this is back underneath that dollar. Unfortunately, I thought this might hold it and then give you a rally in there. News is trying to catch a bid. It's not doing a very good job of catching a bid here on NUZE. So we'll see what happens. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, these are some pretty big volume movers. I wouldn't be surprised if these things went 100% up or 100% down. But the countdown is on. Let's ring it in 2 and 1, Brendo. And, you know, we have a new mallet, but Brendan's old school. Not only did he use the old one and bust the mallet, he also gave it the, whatever. He just dropped the mic on that one. It is what it is. Fabian's saying in my ear, maybe the audience could send us one. But we already have a new one, Fabian. We have that new red mallet. Oh, it's too loud? Okay, so we're not using the new mallet because it's way too loud when you hit it. I don't know why it's so difficult. We can just throw stuff at it. We'll figure it out, everybody. But it was a wild day today in the market. Not an up day, but we had Netflix earnings after the bell to get to, which is already moving in here. So Netflix, I don't have the numbers, but you went down $20, now up 40 from the bottom here through 700, through 705. Netflix is already going. So I want to thank everybody out here, but Netflix earnings are out. They went upside. Now you're right back in. Incredible volatility. Crap, I don't have my thing to tell me what the news is. I haven't seen the numbers come across the board. But already you have 3 or 4% to the upside and then another move down here. It looks like it's a mixed bag on Netflix. This is why you don't necessarily want to be trading this in the aftermarket. Let's get it going because let's go right to Sean because this is looking like it's going to be a wild one here for Netflix earnings after the bell. It's your market recap and Netflix right back at the high.
Yeah, there goes Netflix 702 right now, bang, on that one right here. EPS of 540 right now, big beat there for Netflix, to be honest with you. There it is right here on our Benzinga Pro platform. You can see right here, Netflix EPS beat of 540 versus 512, sales of 9825 versus a beat, of 976. So remember, we're not going to get like subscriber growth or anything like that or what their numbers look like. We may get some talk there on the conference call about anything like that. But right now it's Netflix right now with a nice little beat on the top and the bottom line. So we'll just keep our ears posted right now. Thank you so much for everybody joining in right now. It looks like a disappointment. Honestly, I mean, if you're one way or the other right now and you're trading futures or options on Netflix, which would be options, I guess, you're not getting that move. We're expecting a 7.5% move. Yeah, so there it goes. Nice move downside right now on Netflix. And you're seeing just kind of back and forth. I think we're going to have to wait to hear about what new products are coming out, maybe how that gaming is working out. But the numbers were both beats, and it doesn't look like it wants to do too much there. There it is right here. So they do give a guide. Netflix sees Q4. So Q4 423. They just had right now Q3 540. So it looks like a lower Q4 number. 423 is what's expected. They just posted 540. So maybe right there, we'll figure that out, but revenues of 10 billion. So they're expecting more revenues, but less EPS. So is that a sandbag? We'll find out what the market thinks about that. Is Netflix right now kind of just chilling out right now? Oh, we do get their paid memberships. Okay, so there it is right there. Global stream payment net memberships, 282. Wow. So just under 300 million right now paid subs. Like, that's incredible, man. That's like, I mean, think about it, just about the population of Canada is only 40 million, so forget about that. This is 282 million. What is it, 440 in the United States or something like that? So that's a big number. And of course, this is global. So we take that into consideration, but it's also paid memberships. So I don't know if that includes, again, the ad tier. So I'm not sure. But right there, Net expects paid additions to be higher in Q4 than Q3. So that's good. And strong content right now. So we've talked about what's expected for Netflix. We're looking at, again, Squid Game 2. And then the Tyson-Paul fight should be big on there as well. I'll be watching that, and especially if it's on Netflix, again, pretty free for everybody that subscribes. So we don't need to worry about all those, DAZN or some of those other premium packages, which I don't know, probably will still be on there. But again, Netflix sort of solves that problem. So I like Netflix coming in again. Let me know if there's any other names you want to look at. Ozark Bank right there. Great movie. Don't know much about this show. Bank of OZK. Yeah, Jason Bateman there. I mean, that's a great show. That's a Netflix one. I think 3 seasons on there. Go watch Ozark if you can. But right now, Bank OZK reporting and not really moving around right now. Dropbox to announce. That's not coming out yet. I don't really see anything else. If there's any other earnings reports you guys want to know, put it in here and we'll figure it out. But you are 100% right there, Mo. IV is now crushed on Netflix. Like the implied volatility, we are looking for a 7% move on Netflix. So if you think it comes out at 690, knock off 7% of that. It should be at least a $50 move. And right now you're moving 11 right now. Not much coming out other than that tonight. We'll get it if it comes out. More earnings to come. There's OZK again, EPS beat, 155 versus 154, not much happening. All right, well, today was a story again, gold up 1.2%. Let's go over to a daily chart just to have a look at this. We talked about this. This is the gold miners. A gold miner that I'm in is Barrick Gold, so that's kind of nicely up to the top again. We're in this around 16. This was given to me by Raheem Alani and all of us on the show when he was talking about gold. I didn't like gold itself. I like to get the dividend. So we did grab Barrick Gold right there. And that's a nice play up to the top side there as well. Well, what led the downside today? I'm surprised that I didn't even look at any China names. China on continued weakness, pulling back in there today. China shares, FXI, a nice downside move. This is going to be, we do not have a guest. So I'm sorry to tell you that. We did have Danielle Shea all lined up. She's not with us today. Over 3,700 still watching. I say thank you. You know what it's going to be right now? Let's go Q&A. You guys want to do a Q&A right now? All right, so drop those Qs in the chat. Any symbols you want to talk about, you want to know anything else possible, drop it in there, who my barber is, things like that, ask away. It's funny because my wife, if she's watching, she'll probably hop in here. She said, why not do a Q? I was like, hey, man, we don't have a guest for the after hours. She's like, oh, come on. I was like, you got to get Brendan to book you on. So that did not happen there. So ask in the chat if you guys need to know anything. And then again, of course, we'll hit it with Bears versus Bulls again. So thank you, Sebastian. He says, you don't need no guest when you got me. That's okay. Nvidia upside tomorrow. Yes, I say that every day. So we'll look at that more carefully in just a couple seconds about Nvidia. All right, United States oil today pretty flat, only up 0.14% right now as oil. Again, I thought it would have been a little bit more volatile. Did we get any moves middle of the day? Yeah, so I'm not sure if this is when it was announced. This would be 1 p.m. our time, so could also be close to the close. But we did have that Hamas. I thought it was a little bit earlier than that. Yeah, so not much action there. As we heard a leader again, as possible escalation back where one of the Hamas leaders has been, I guess, extinguished. I don't know the proper word. They're probably not that one. Great. I'm going to everyone adding me right there. All right, so USO making that move again. I still like XLE. We're in this name. Let's see what happens with XLE. Again, producing a little bit better than oil, still holding that 200 period moving average on this one as well. Yeah, man, the disappointing trade of me of the day, it's not disappointing. We didn't really get into this until the end of the day, and that was Lucid. We wind up pretty flat on Lucid, but look what it did today. Again, off of that news that, you know what, let's go to a 5-minute chart. See a little bit more of this drop. There it is again, Saudis again, they had to raise more capital, buy another share offering, so that's not great. They continue to burn through cash there at Lucid Motors. Nice downside move for LCID. Tesla was kind of okay today. We were back and forth with this one at the end of the day. And I'm actually asking for help as we speak. I'm going to do some work, not tonight. Actually, tonight I have chess, and then my wife is taking my daughter to practice, and I'm not here tomorrow. So we'll say, yes, sir, for Obi coming through tomorrow. He'll be sitting with me there as we have another tournament happening in hockey, so I'll be away off that tomorrow. But right now, Tesla, back and forth a little bit today, only down 0.19. We'll figure out what's going on with Tesla. But again, look at all this, man. Just back and forth like no one can make up their mind. All I've decided to do about Tesla now is let's stay away, push it aside. If we get a catalyst of some sort, then we like it. For me, for Tesla, it's pretty simple. We need a little bit of a bigger chart. So let's go to a 60-minute. There's the drop zone. That's a ride, by the way, at Canada's Wonderland drop zone. I know Fabian probably knows that one. So there's the drop off from Robotaxi event where we were all waiting for it October 10th. came through. People disappointed in that. They had Robotaxi Bus that wasn't ready yet. And then the other thing that was ready that Elon got into, I thought it was really cool, man, that they're able to roll around their whole test facilities in these 2 doors right now. Wow, that's the chat going nuts right now. Everybody looking for questions. Bears versus Bulls will be messaging me privately with the best of the best. And don't add him too much. Just say at Bears versus Bulls and at me, and we'll be able to get some of the questions. But for me, for Tesla, long story short, we need to take out this 225 area. I almost don't even want to be involved in this until we do take that 225. But I'm going to take this out of my ear. If there are any more news stories coming through, make sure you do get me immediately on the chat, and I'll try to break some stories for you. You're all here for Netflix. Let's go over and quickly look at Netflix. I just want to thank all 3,200 of you still here. That's a great number for a Thursday, and I want to thank you for that right there. 1.36%. Okay, Netflix. Looks a little bit better on the 60-minute chart, to be honest with you. Let's see if we can take these levels out. We're going to try to get back up to 732. For me, Netflix had some good reports, right? Let me just zoom this back into let's go to a 2-minute chart. Wow. Netflix trying to go back upside. There goes Netflix turning positive. We may have had a 7% move intra earnings right there as that bottom hit 6. Are you kidding me? This bottom right here, can you zoom into this? Right now, not right now, I don't mean to be saying do it right now. Immediately, zoom down, no, down, right to where my cursor is. Now scroll over to what this price says. What? Does that say, look where my cursor is. There's the bottom of Netflix, 6666. The devil's in this name, baby. I just put it right to the bottom, and that's where it landed. I'm not even going to move the cursor. All right, get off of it. Enough of that. Right there. There's 715 now. Oh, yeah. Nice little move up there for Netflix. It keeps on going. So let's say, okay, what was up with Netflix? Well, this is the good thing about the Benzinga Pro platform. Of course, we do love this platform for many reasons, but you just type in the name. As you would expect, news comes forth. So there it is, 540 beat versus 512. Sales, 982 versus 976. Bang. Netflix sees Q4 EPS. Greens, that must be better, 423. My problem with that EPS is why are we $1 less than the EPS we just reported? So we'll find out more about that. But then they also said global paid memberships, 282.72 versus 277.65. They like that. Netflix, they expected paid memberships to be higher in Q4 than Q3. Hit the like and subscribe. And look, these are as we go earnings with Netflix. I'm not logged into our platform. I'll promise to be logged in the next time I do the show to show you live level 2s. But there it is right there. Revenue, 16% year over year. We like that. Right there, Q3 financial results, 14.4% growth in global stream paid memberships. That's what they are expecting right here. Q4 higher, they're looking than Q3 in paid memberships. So you're already getting a 14.4% growth. Let's see if it gets a little bit higher than that. Regardless of what this report is, we have to look over and ball don't lie. Netflix right now, 722. Congratulations to all of the bulls out there. Those of you that held faith in some of these names, there it is, man. Another mega name. Mag 7. Mega name. Let's go look at DJT. Mega Man. You like that game? I like that game. Mega Man. You got pew, pew. That was the best, man. Mega Man. Yeah, those little, like the space suit that he had on there. Firing those lasers, man, that's bringing back. Right there, DJT, $30. There's also Funware, if we're going to talk about a Mega name. I meant to say Mag 7. And again, Fang, which was a Jim Cramer thing, initially had Netflix in it. That was the N. So anyways, Netflix continues to go higher. Let's just quickly look at Netflix again on the daily chart, just to give a quick look at what we're talking about here. So that all-time high looks to be 736.19. So we'll see if we can get to that level again. A good report there today, post-market, October 17th. Short float not available, 1.69%. So nothing really to worry about on Netflix. What are they up year to date? Right there, 41% year to date on an unknown company, Netflix. So we'll wait to see. I just say that tongue in cheek. What is going on with Disney? All right, so another secondary play. In 1 minute, I will be going over and looking at some of these Q&As and trying to pick out the best ones. Looks like Disney making a move upside a little bit there on that. Again, if they're expecting more revenue from paid subscribers, I mean, Netflix and Disney. Disney, again, has Disney Plus. They've got Hulu. Paramount is NBC. But we'll see if Disney can get going on the upside there. Fox, sorry, again. And we've been looking at some of those plays again. Simpsons, 36 seasons coming through there. I always remember Fox for Married with Children was fun. There was up to Al Bundy, you know, give the old stiff arm to the competition. The best running back in polk high history, Al Bundy, ladies and gentlemen, right there. Christina Applegate, for very young. Oh, Futurama. Okay, I don't know enough about that. All right, what's up with uranium right now? Blast from the past. I actually need to get a glass of water. I'll get that in a minute. Can you go and run and get it for me? Sure, yeah, a little thing of water there. Thank you, Fabian. Yeah, it's okay. We won't do too much while you're gone there. We'll go over a few plays. All right, uranium. Look, we've had some big talk about the superscalers. They want to get into uranium, right? Who's going to power this next wave? It's going to be Google, Amazon, Microsoft. They're all Meta. They're all needing to get in there and build on these GPUs, build the AI, build the inferencing. They need someone to power this. I think we've already seen Dominion the last day yesterday. That had a nice move up there, exploding through the highs as well. URA ETF, we signified that at $25. Hopefully you're in on that. And then the play that I'm in on, come on, NewScale, really? Anyways, it's been a big play, man. We're long at 12 and change in all of this. Nice move to the upside for NewScale. We did not get lucky enough to get anything out near 20. Our best out on this one is 1835. Thank you. That's really chilly. I like that. Okay, DraftKings to release financial results. I'm seeing here November 7th. Is that ahead of time or not? DKNG right now. I just saw that come across the board. Okay. All right. Well, what's up with that then? I'm seeing here. We have it on Trade Ideas as November 1st. I'm seeing a note right here. Why is that? Why would they be delaying this 1 week? So we'll find out about that right there. DraftKings right now, it looks like, unless it's written down wrong, but I mean, they're allowed to do that. We've seen that on Palo Alto. Palo Alto all of a sudden one day reported on a Friday, and everyone's like, oh my God, why are they doing that? So nobody can follow them, and turned out to be a banger. All right, what's going on right now with DraftKings? Nothing, so people don't seem to care about that. Let's look at Palo Alto. I love this stock. This has been a stock again, and I have to give all the credit to Jim Cramer. He says trade the best. Why is my watch going nuts right now? Oh my gosh, I'm getting a lot of questions from the Bears versus Bulls himself right there. Palo Alto, man, anybody that was scared about any of these earnings plays, wow. Cybersecurity. We talk about investing sometimes on this show, and I think what you need to do is invest in themes. And again, this is not financial advice. This is what I like to do. Cybersecurity. We also bought CrowdStrike. CrowdStrike I know is above 300. My average price is 260, 250, something in and around there. And I think a lot of you have made a lot of money. I know Raider Trader talked about CrowdStrike for a minute as well. There's a lot of traders that have bought some dips here. CrowdStrike for sure. There it is, man. Look at that. 262 is not a great price. I mean, there's traders that are probably in here somewhere. We weren't. This is that August 5th low. We are in London. What's up to Adam if you're in the chat? But we were there. We did not take advantage of that. We were buying into this area. So I think we bought initially in this move down the first time, 280s. And then we were able to get something in the 50s, giving us, or maybe even in the 40s. Maybe we did buy some down into there again. But again, not the greatest price, but CrowdStrike right back above the 200 period moving average rate. One more look at Netflix, then we go to Q&A time. And I will not forget about roll call. Sometimes we do forget about that. Okay, here we go. Let's go a little bit. Actually, Trader Talk, hosted by yours truly right now. Okay. So, hey, Sean, how's it going today? I mean, it's been a very, very good day trading. How's it for you? Not that great. I mean, we did have some stop outs on Google today. We did have some stop out there on Tesla. We did get stopped out on Nvidia real early. We got also made the bottom, I believe, in Apple. But at the end of the day, all in all, pretty good trade for me, myself. I was red today. How about you out there in trader land? It's too bad because we did have some really great trades. Too bad that it just didn't work out to get into that green area for us. Today, hovering around there for the month. I could talk more about that. I'm probably, like we always say this, we're one of the only ones that do that, and we're pretty proud of doing that and talking as honestly as possible as we can with everybody. Okay, the first question coming right now is, thank you again, Bears vs. Bulls, for the format that we're doing right now. All right, there it is right now. We'll put this out, and it is Ask Sean a Question. So I'll post it in here into the chat so everybody can see it. Here it comes right now. It is from Max Sarama. Sean, what do you think about Uber and Google for tomorrow? So I do like that question. Thank you so much, Max, for that. Well, all of you would know this. I talked about this today. Let's go over to the look here. I'm going to go into a 15-minute chart. More comfortable talking about longer-term trends with this, especially if we're going to talk about just tomorrow. So I bought. Actually, look where Uber closes at, $80. I got filled at $80.01 off the open today. It did make that move up, though, in the middle of the day, up into $81 now. The reason why I like this stock, I've been waiting for pullbacks in Uber. We were long earlier. We were long in the 30s, man. We were long at $36, $37 in Uber. We did sell it on the event of the S&P, what was it, NASDAQ 100 inclusion there for Uber. It made that move up. Now, we got out. We'll have to go back. Let's go into a weekly chart on Uber just to have a quick little look on that, where we got out. Yeah, so we got out once we broke above, I thought it was $64, $65. So we did not participate in this move. We're waiting for a backfill on Uber. So when I'm looking at this trade, we now take advantage of that Expedia news today to push it down that 2%. It's been coming back. I mean, there's been some transport names that have come back. I mean, there's really right now a strike right now happening at our airport, with Uber drivers not happy about the wages, not happening about the competition. I actually sat in Uber the other day. The guy told me there's 100,000 Uber drivers in the GTA, which is Toronto alone. 100,000 drivers. Like, that is, I mean, look, there's over 3 million people here, so I don't know what that ratio is like, if that's high or low, but I thought that was a little... Oh, my God. Thought it was a little bit, oh, my God, but right there. So maybe there is competition. But look, let's talk about that, Max, for tomorrow. I think we got to hold this $80 level. If we do, I don't see why we can't get back to $82 for Uber. And I think we can do that tomorrow. So we'll wait to see on Uber for that one. I won't do Google. I'm only going to give you one. We have too many to go through right now. You guys know that I really like Google for tomorrow as well, but we need to hold. Oh, here, we'll do it quickly. We need to hold that 163 on Google. So we'll go into it today on a little bit of a chart here, 15-minute chart. 15-minute chart, please. There it is. So we need to hold this 163. We did hold it today. Let's see where we open up. I'm not going to be here, but if you breach below this, you're going to try to hold it to 162.70, but we could break below that as well. So for me, I'm long above 163 on Google. Let's see if it holds. I'm not sure what the market's going to do tomorrow. So if you're looking at the triple Qs for the NASDAQ, we've already made those highs. NASDAQ back down to 20,200 is definitely a possibility right now. 20,400, 20,500 is what we're looking at. But the NASDAQ looks to make, again, there's some support here, 490. We'll see if we can wind up holding that. All right. Marlon, what's up? Where do we see, oh, here we go. I'll put it in the chat here so everybody can see it. Where do we see Tesla next week is the question from Marlon B. Where do we see Tesla for next week? So let's have a quick look at that. We're always looking for catalysts here when we talk about some stocks. So I've already looked at Tesla a little bit earlier on in the show. I want to see a break of that 225. If we can break this 225, which comes into play right there, that's that dip off of, this is October 10th. So we do get that move down on the robotaxi. I don't think it was that bad. I mean, he talked about it being ready for 2026, maybe 2025. We'll see if it can get there. We know they're producing a lesser vehicle, so maybe that can come into retail at some point. I don't mind that. I love all the information. All the podcasts that I hear about Tesla is all about all the information that they have. They're well ahead of Waymo and all of that as far as data collection. And I don't really want to go against Elon Musk, but at the same time, Tesla right now barcoded since the event. So if it gets above 225, I think we see 240. He asked about next week. If we can break 225, we get to 240. So for me, I would be buying. I mean, if you're talking about options, I don't know the right duration to do this in, but again, I'd like to see this break and then get excited. So if we do that, then I'd buy some 240 calls. I don't know, end of the month maybe. I'm not sure, end of next week. But I think we can get back above 240, especially if we flip over into the daily. We need to get that. That's 225. It's also the 50-period moving average. The last time we sort of took that, we bounced up into 265. I just don't see any negative headlines coming for Tesla over the next little while. Earnings report October 23rd. So you want to talk about next week? October 23rd for Tesla earnings coming up post-market next week. Wow, that should be real fun. I don't think the show was that bad. Those dancing robots, kind of fun. Sebastian wants to know what my dream car is to own. I don't really know. I mean, being Italian, I mean, I've always talked about, you know, you have that old Lamborghini Countach that could come into play there. So we put that one. Thank you so much, Sebastian, for that. You know, a Ferrari, something like that. But I don't really have, I'm pretty, you could probably, hopefully tell, pretty like humble as far as cars go. I'm not, you know, Sharif would be maybe better question for that one. But right now we drive the Atlas, the Volkswagen, and we really love that car. I'm actually looking to get, believe it or not, just a Golf R. My next one to whip around the streets in. I like the horsepower there, all-wheel drive. So I think living up here in Canada influences me with that. But yeah, I would say something like that to come into play for there. So all right, is Tesla stock? We've already talked about that. Would I go short here? What's up, Farming Education? We only have 5 more minutes. We'll go over a couple more questions, and thank you, everybody, for joining us. This is a question on XLU, so the utilities right there. Thank you, Farming Education, right now. How about a clear short till 880 for XLU? So I really like, I mean, XLU, we talk about the utility sector, how on fire that's been, and I feel like it has been on fire. The one thing that I've noticed with day trading is you want to stay with the trend. You just mentioned short on XLU. Well, yeah, what would be the catalyst for that? Again, utilities, I would see a rate-sensitive environment, but again, as rates seem to be pulling down, utilities actually go up because utilities will pay a dividend. So that might be a nice little move there. But look at this. If you're going to think about a short to 880, 80, I mean, I guess you're talking about that the bottom from yesterday. It's nice that we get this move down today. So potentially here, you could get a little bit of a pullback. I don't know why 80. I would say if you're looking for a short, why not test in and around the 50-period moving average again? What about a 79 pullback there for XLU? Again, relative strength, knocking its head off a 70. It hasn't been too much higher than this, going all the way back into the middle of the summer. We got to about 80. So I think we are due for a pullback in some of these names. You look how extended we are away from the 50-period moving average. The last time we were here, pull back. There's an extension away from it as well. Here's an extension away, and there's the pullback. So I think you might be onto something right there, my good friend. Was that Sebastian who asked me that? No, Farming Education asked me that as well. Okay, there's all some hearts there. Thank you for that. All right, oh my gosh, you have to stop taking questions now. We have way too many right now. All right, Dan King, I'm going to stop copying them, I think. What's my prediction on Hood right now? So Hood tomorrow, I mean, some of these calls, again, when you're looking at names that we think about here, you got to be catalyst driven. So HOOD, right there, Robinhood. Wow, man, I love this stock. You guys remember what we talked about with Robinhood? We really like this name here at $15 or $16. And I laughing at this because we talked about it versus SoFi. SoFi finally starting to go. Again, hard for me to give a prediction for tomorrow based on a chart that looks like this, but here's Robinhood right now. Looking at what it's done over the week, I mean, I don't have that crystal ball on what tomorrow's market's going to bring, but I would look like a fade into 27. Had a hard time getting through that. I always think that when we have these big moves up in the pre-market, when you get catalysts, then you get this fade. So for me, I mean, why didn't we hold that? Why didn't we even hold 27? We went right through this. It's been riding this 200-period moving average. For me, I'd be looking short on Robinhood tomorrow. Thank you so much for the question on that one. All right, what's up to Jay Alvarez? Thank you so much for this question. This has been a popular topic as of late. People always want to talk about Dell and Palantir, some of these names that have been recently added. So there it is right there. Mr. Alvarez, thank you so much for your question as we put it there into the chat. Wow, we're getting a lot. We still have 3,000 holding. Send these numbers to Brendan, man. Wow, thank you so much for that one. Dell, people want to know about Dell. All right, so what's my opinion on Dell? Well, I really like Dell. I think old tech becomes new. Michael Dell brought this name recently back into the market. So if we go over to a daily chart here, again, look at this hold. IBM today, new highs, 232. I think Dell servers going to be in play. Let's not forget about the long-term thesis here that we're talking about in the market. We're talking about AI, we're talking about chips, we're talking about security as well. We're talking about power. I think all of these plays need to have a place to sit. They need to sit in racks. So you're going to look at SMCI for that. They're going to need server power. So you're looking at Dell for that. I just wonder that when Google reports, when all of these names report, will they start talking kindly about Dell? Will they push forward the ideas that they need to get more. And I think they do. More power, more infrastructure. Dell is the play. I like Dell. I don't know if you can tell. So good question on there. I think Dell moving forward. This is kind of like the lightning round right now. Jim Cramer. We used to have something like that as well. All right. Eli Lilly. Is Eli Lilly setting up? A couple more questions. Hey, still a question to come. What are some long-term prospects? So we're going to get that question in just a minute from Sandeep coming through. Wow, we're almost over time right now. Is Lilly setting up right now? So thank you for that question as well. Setting up for what is the question? Look, bouncing off the 200 period. We're long Eli Lilly, an embarrassing low amount. A dollar price. We bought this a little bit earlier. It's in the 400s. You've seen it just continue to move upside right now. GLP-1 doesn't seem to be going anywhere. Eli Lilly, again, ahead of all of the players right now. We're not stopping. Sorry, Fabian. We're not. All right, right now, I think Eli Lilly, once they get that oral pill going, wow, what does that mean for Eli Lilly shareholders? And again, as they talk about pricing, that's going to be a factor. Can they get that price down to something more reasonable where we can start to look at more and more people being able to take the benefits? Not forget about just for weight loss. This helps addictions. This helps a lot of different aspects. I'm not going to go diabetes. I'm not going to go into everything because I ain't no doctor. But if you are one, hit me up and maybe you can come on the show. I mean, love to have someone on to talk more about that again. All right. Can you please suggest long-term prospects which are not overvalued? So Sandeep, I like this question. Maybe one more question or two more questions. Here it is right here. I'm going to do more of these, man. We'll do. How about every Thursday Q&A with me? AMA. Get my wife in the chat. That'll be hilarious. She's going to come in next Thursday. Then you'll see some funny things happening. I promise you that. Love her to death. Shout out to Marissa. She'll be in the chat coming very soon. All right. Did I just put it in there? Yes, I did. Can you please do some stocks for long-term prospects which are not overvalued? So what you're really going to look at here is the PEs of very many companies, right? So when you're talking about valuation, you're looking to price to earnings ratios. So I feel like it's not listed on here. Is it listed over here? Because I want to just go for things, position and range. No, I'm trying to find out. Do we see earnings per share? No, I don't see PE. That's too bad. Okay, let's talk about Benzinga because I know where to find it right here. All right, my number one play for long term. I think it's undervalued. It is now lower than the market multiple. The market multiple right now is 23. So when I say, oh my God, what stocks might be the next forward thing to look at? What about right here, Google with a forward PE of just 18. I think that's undervalued. I think you could buy some Google right here. I think you can actually buy some XOM right here. And the good thing about XOM is you also get a dividend if you're looking for some long-term prospects. Look at XOM's PE, just 13. Might be high historically, but I think XOM needs to be revalued, man, because with AI coming into play right now, I think XOM is a play at some of these levels. I will be buying more XOM. I don't mind J&J at some of these levels right now. J&J's PE right now, just 15. They have worries about the cancer. We talked about talc coming through again. That's going to be a problem. Procter & Gamble might be something to take a look at and a gamble on. If there is something that you want to look, we've talked about TD Bank. That's been hit recently. There's been some scandals with TD Bank. But again, the oligopoly that exists here in Canada, you might want to look at TD Bank with a dividend yield of 5.3%. Where is the PE on this one? 9? All right, 5.3% dividend yield. 9 PE. I like that stock. Other than that, man, longer term prospects, I'm going to say, why not? I've recently bought a little bit of Berkshire as well. I think this name is something that you need to buy. You're not going to get a PE or anything on this one, I don't believe anyways. But I like BerkB again. Insurance, financials, high quality companies. Even though we know that Uncle Warren, unfortunately, is getting a little long in the tooth. Maybe that'll be run properly. He's not leaving that to die. So Berkshire, I like that. Look, thank you so much for everybody. I want to thank Bears vs. Bulls. I want to thank everybody for watching. All 3,000 of you held strong with me. I'll take more AMAs, man. I think this has been really fun. Maybe we'll do it every single Thursday. Thank you so much for watching. For everybody out there, Fabian, thank you for staying late. Neil, great show. Dara wasn't here, but shout out to Dara. Sharif today. Everybody in the chat, thank you so much. But we're just going to do a quick one with roll call. Because I've forgotten that the last couple times because we want to scram out of here. But quickly, I know we got to go. So we'll get out of here quickly. What's up, Jimmy? Oops. Well, here, here you go. I'll zoom in a little bit so we can see what's going on. There's Jimmy. He wants to know about GME. Of course he does. What's up, Adam? What's up, Bora Hout? Andrew Chow Shenanigans. Alex, a.k.a. Boneless. Boneless chicken wings or not, Fabian? Bone in. I like that. I like that, Fabian. Travel Buddy says, what's up? NYC Urbanista, I've seen you before. For sure. Shout out to you. Thank you so much, NYC Urbanista. Matt Marine. Andrew Chow is in the building. Marie L or Marielle. Dollar bills. We'll hopefully make some of that. Raul's over here. Carol. Tyrone Hamilton. AJ. Easy peasy. Yeah, we'll have some hockey tomorrow. I'm so excited. I love being with family, especially at these tournaments. So we're really excited for that. Thank you to everybody. Thank you, Yoshi, as well, one of my favorite characters in Mario Kart. Thank you so much, and I'll see everybody tomorrow. Thanks, Fabian. Have a great weekend, everybody.